Hey everybody, can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Everything like that? If you guys can, hear me okay and see me okay, just give me a thumbs up, let me know everything's good. If there are any problems, of course, I'm going to try to fix it. Not saying I can fix it, but, we'll do our best. But yeah, hey everyone, so we got some people already. We got 13 likes on the video already, that's awesome. We got 7 or 8 people watching right now. Hey everyone. So yeah, just let me know, if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay. We haven't had any problems like that before, but just want to make sure. Everything good. Okay, thank you guys. Really appreciate that. So yeah, so this is the Q&A that we're doing to celebrate not 3,000. It's Q&A live stream number 3. But we're celebrating 2,000 subscribers. So it's like a Q&A, but also just like a hangout. We're gonna talk about whatever we want. And we're gonna do this for about 2 hours. So for me right now, it's 3:01, and we're gonna be going, for me anyway, to 5 o'clock. So again, it's gonna be for 2 hours. So let's look at the questions. We got some questions already. We got what's poppin' from Gelatin Skeleton. Hey man, how you doing? Really awesome actually that you could join the stream. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm doing really well actually. What else do we got? Who are you? Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Rappter, and that's who I am. Okay, what else we got? Who would win Weiss Schnee versus Princess Zelda? Okay, one thing I want to say just before I start answering questions like those is that, obviously, I'm not, when it comes to answering questions like versus debate questions where I don't do research on them, obviously I could get stuff wrong. When it's just stuff like this, obviously I could be getting stuff wrong. So just keep that in mind. This is just like my initial thoughts. I could be missing something big or something like that. So just keep that in mind. But for who would win Weiss versus Zelda? Well, Zelda, to my knowledge, doesn't have like a ton of great feats. That might have changed with the more recent games. I'm not 100% sure. In terms of Weiss, like, she was able to make, like, Death Battle calculated, like, over 200 tons of TNT with her abilities. So I want to say, and with her dust, she's also pretty versatile, and with time dilation, that might help. So maybe Weiss, but again, I'm not really sure. Zelda's pretty crafty, though, so she might have some workarounds. Let's see what else we got. Kondak or Wakanda? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't really know what Kondak is, so I can't really answer that, but I love Wakanda. Wakanda forever. Do you like Yoshi versus the Rappter? As an idea, yeah, it's pretty awesome. What else we got? What do you do if you're doing research, but the canon of characters gets difficult to tell? How do you decide what feats to use? That's actually a really good question. This doesn't happen too often where I'm thinking like, oh god, like what's the canon? What, like, does this count? Does this not count? But when it does happen, it's really just a matter of like, what source is it coming from? Like, is it from a reliable source? And if I decide that it's at least somewhat reliable, then it just comes to like, does it contradict the main canon a lot? If I can guarantee that it comes from at least a somewhat reliable source and it doesn't contradict main canon, then usually it should be fine, unless like there's some really weird thing that's going on there. And most of the time, whenever that happens, it doesn't really like change my perception of the character that much. It doesn't really change that much in terms of the battle itself. So normally it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it can really be like a case by case basis. Kimiko from The Boys versus Neo from Ruby. I don't know that much about the Boys characters other than the 7, unfortunately, and that's mostly because of Death Battle. But yeah, for Kimiko versus Neo, I'm biased, so I want to say Neo, but again, I can't really say for sure because I just don't know that much. A lot of people are saying, hi guys, Werewolf from American Werewolf in London versus the World. I saw American Werewolf in London like a really long time ago, so I'm not sure exactly, what he's capable of, but if you're talking like versus the world, versus this world, he might be able to make it through everybody. Who knows? But yeah, I don't have too much to say on that because again, I can't really remember all that stuff that much. Do you think Silver Surfer versus Martian Manhunter is a better match than Vision versus Martian Manhunter? Yes, absolutely. I 100% think that's a better match. Vision versus Martian Manhunter is one of my least wanted death battles of all time because I just don't see the connections between the characters other than they can phase through objects and they're dressed somewhat similarly. I don't really see anything other than that. Okay, we're gonna have to go through through these questions a little faster so I don't fall behind. DCEU Wonder Woman versus MCU Captain Marvel. Probably Captain Marvel. I think she just has better feats. But, you know, again, that's just my opinion. Someone might have some calculations that say otherwise, but based on the feats we've seen Captain Marvel do, I think she would probably win that fight. What are you hoping for Death Battle Season 8? Well, I made that video, you know, talking about the fights that I'd like to see in Season 8. I made the other video talking about the confirmed combatants and who I think they could be fighting or who I'd want to see them fight. So you can check out those videos if you want to see that stuff. But aside from that, I would just like to see, you know, good fights, good animations, you know, good ideas, everything like that. You know, I just hope that this 10-year anniversary season is awesome. So yeah, high expectations, definitely. Do you read Webtoon? No, I don't, unfortunately, so I can't talk too much about that. What else we got? Can Archie Sonic beat Sailor Moon? Yeah, I would assume so. Like, I'm sure that there are circumstances where Sailor Moon could win, but Archie Sonic's just got, like, so many workarounds and is just ridiculously fast. What else we got? Can Immortal Hulk permanently kill Doomsday? So it depends on, you know, how you interpret what the Immortal Hulk can do, and like if that differs from how Doomsday has been killed before. So like, I don't know if Doomsday has been killed by like radiation poisoning, and like if somehow Immortal Hulk could do something like that. I'm not sure. Again, it depends on the power set, which frankly I'm not too familiar with when it comes to Immortal Hulk. I think you know, you could find a workaround for that if you really tried hard enough. But yeah, that's really all I can say about that. Who would win? Harriet Bree versus A-Train. I'm not really sure, because again, like with what is it, The Boys, it's difficult because you have the comics and you have the show, and I'm not really familiar with either. Again, I want to go with Ruby because I'm biased, but you know, I can't say that much about that. Marvel versus DC fighting game. If you're asking me to name a Marvel versus DC fighting game, I don't have one at the top of my head. If you're asking if I would be interested in that, absolutely, hell yes. My two favorite things coming together. Have you seen Magi, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, Labyrinth of Magic? If you haven't seen it, it's really good and it's on Netflix. I haven't seen it. Thank you so much for the recommendation. I might check it out. I would love a Marvel vs. DC fighting game. Yes, absolutely. Do you sometimes watch scary movies? Sometimes, but not often. Again, like I've watched some when I was younger, and some of them don't even really count as like horror movies. Like, I saw Coraline, but you know, it's Coraline, right? And again, American Werewolf in London, I saw that too. But in terms of like the classic horror movies, I'm personally not that into them. They just were never really up my alley, like Marvel and DC were and stuff like that. Do you feel that intelligence plays a large part of who would win fights, like the ability to read opponents' mental states, to abuse it or manipulate them? This is a very case-by-case basis thing. Like if it's something where, you know, you have a ton of intelligence, but your attack potency or your attack power cannot get past the other opponent's durability, then you can't win no matter how smart you are, because you don't have prep time with that, you know what I mean? So I think in a sense where the stats are very close, yes, intelligence could actually make or break a fight, but when the stats are already pretty far apart, then no, I don't think it's as big a factor as like the main physical stats. Any plans for 2021? A big plan right now is trying to get a summer job, trying to apply for jobs and everything like that. Another plan for 2021, could we hit 3,000 subscribers? Who knows? You know, just to work more with YouTube and, you know, to get a job for the summer, and just continue school. That's really the big plans right now. Are you checking out the Olympics this year? Normally I drop into the Olympics every once in a while, whenever they're playing. But yeah, would it be this year? 2021? I guess so, yeah. Yeah, right. Like Winter Olympics, right? If I'm getting that right. Wait, no. Actually, I'm not sure. If the Olympics are happening this year, then yes, I would definitely want to do that. The Rappter punched Stan Lee because I thought it. I did not punch Stan Lee. That never actually happened, but I would never punch Stan Lee. He's a legend. Is Kratos versus Asura more likely to happen than Broly versus Asura? Right now, probably yeah, because if we're talking about like really quickly, like if it's happening soon, then yeah, I would assume that Broly versus Asura is less likely because they don't typically bring characters back that quickly. But I could see both of them happening at one point in the future later. If you have to get something in My Hero Academia, who will character female? I think what you're trying to ask. Sorry, it's a little hard to understand what you're typing. I think what you're trying to say is, who would you want as a My Hero Academia girlfriend? I never really thought about that before. I may have to get back to you on that. Yeah. Sorry, I just don't have a big opinion on that. Have you seen WandaVision yet? Yes, I have. Please, no spoilers though, in case people do want to see it and they haven't seen it yet. But yes, I have seen the first 2 episodes of WandaVision. Really interesting what they're doing. I'm really like, it's so many questions right off the bat, and I'm really excited to see where they go with it. Death Battle requests are now in the Death Battle blog in Rooster Teeth. Okay. Saw the trailer for Bowser Fury. Okay, I never saw that personally, or haven't seen it yet. If season 8 had a joke/gag fight, what do you think it would be? A joke or gag fight? I'd actually like to see Goku versus Superman 3 as a joke fight, like somehow like that. I think that would be the only acceptable way that I could see Goku versus Superman 3 happening. But I know that's not really what you're talking about. If you're talking about like just any sort of joke fight, I don't know, because the joke fights that they've done before, I've never thought of before. Like, I never thought of Chuck Norris versus Sekita Sanshiro. I never thought of Smokey versus McGruff, even though they did actually have a winner. I don't know. Maybe, like, put in, like, I don't even know. Put, like, some obscure video game characters together or something. I may have to get back to you on that. But yeah, it's difficult to say. Who will win, Sailor, Neptune, or Noelle from Black Clover? Don't really know either of the characters that well, so I can't say for sure. Normally, I would try to at least give some answer, but I really don't know those characters at all, so I really can't say. Who would win, Vilgax from Ben 10 versus Ridley from Metroid? Vilgax from Ben 10 versus Ridley. I haven't watched, like, Ben 10 in a long time, and Ridley I don't even know that well. I don't know. Maybe Vilgax, but I know Ridley's really strong too, so I can't even say that for sure. Hulk has never actually poisoned someone because he absorbs the gamma out of people so they don't get sick. Fair enough. I was just trying to say, you know, just give some sort of thing I could say right off the top of my head. Do you think Quicksilver will show up in WandaVision? I think that'd be really cool. In terms of do I think he will? Honestly, no. I think Marvel has been trying to avoid Quicksilver, and I don't really see them bringing him back. I would love to be wrong, though. I would love for Quicksilver to join in. I don't think he will, personally. Can Saberwolf beat Hinata from Naruto? It depends on the kind of scaling. Like, I mean, Saberwolf is probably faster than Hinata, like if we're looking at the nanosecond reaction time. And we know his durability is pretty crazy too. I'm not sure. Hinata's kind of weird because it's hard to scale her. So I don't know. Maybe Saberwolf, but again, that's really tough to say. You should check out the new trailer for the upcoming movie Willy's Wonderland starring Nicolas Cage. It'll be out this month. I actually saw that in my recommended, but I haven't seen that yet. Yeah, I might check it out later. I hope you enjoyed your first full season of the Linksy series. You did a great performance. Thank you so much, Lucas. I really appreciate that. Yes, it was super fun, and I can't wait to do more. I'd still like for a DC and Marvel crossover animated movie. I would love for that too, if that ever somehow happened. Telekinesis or mind control, both of them are like, well, telekinesis is more practical. Like, I feel like there are more times where I think like, oh, I would love to have telekinesis right now so I wouldn't have to get up. But, you know, mind control can open a lot of doors. I feel so dirty saying that. I don't know. I think telekinesis would take me further in the long run in terms of just being lazy, which I love to do. Who will win, Owlman from DC or Dark Owl from Miraculous? Probably Owlman, I assume, just based on feats. Although then again, Dark Owl might scale to some weird speed thing. I'm not sure. What is your opinion on Michael Myers versus Jason? I think it's a good fight. I really want to see it, and I think Jason would win as of right now. But yeah, I'm not too big on horror movies, so it's not like, oh my god, it's my most wanted fight, but it's not, definitely something I would like to see. What is your opinion on Superboy Prime versus Hades? Oh, jeez. Well, Hades is weird because, like, Hades from Saint Seiya is not omnipotent, but, like, he's really strong, though. Like, he can kill you just within your being in his presence, if I recall correctly, but Superboy Prime can just erase you with a punch. But not all the time. Like, sometimes he just doesn't do that, you know? So I don't know. Like, again, like, I did do research for Superboy Prime when I did the Evil Superman Battle Royale, but, like, I don't know how he would compare to something like that. In turn, like, is Superboy Prime Outerversal? I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a really tough one. I think that'd be a cool fight, but I can't really say for sure who I think would win. Is it just me, or Legend of Zelda characters just really hard to make death battles for? There are just so many different canons and feats that's really confusing to me. 100% agree. Zelda is really confusing sometimes. I'm actually impressed Death Battle is able to make it work the way that they do. Was Disney in the 90s the best time for Disney. Yes, Disney Renaissance, absolutely. Like Aladdin, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, some of the best Disney animated movies for sure. Do you think it's fair to use versus feats where one person beats someone else, but they use the environment to do it? Again, very case-by-case basis. It might be like a feat of intelligence. Based on how they use the environment, it could be a feat of strength or something like that. But in general, I don't... Like, if it's purely based on the environment, then no, because they wouldn't have access to it all the time. Have you seen or watched Cobra Kai? Yes, I have. I love Cobra Kai. Please do not spoil in the chat, though. I have yet to watch the final episode. I swear. If you spoil it, I will kill you. Please do not do that. But yes, I have seen Cobra Kai. I've seen the first 2 seasons. I'm almost done the 3rd season. It's an amazing show. Definitely recommend it. It's on Netflix if you haven't seen it. Who would win, Ash Ketchum or Yugi Moto? Oh boy, I'm not even sure if I want to touch on this one because I've seen so many different interpretations of it. Maybe Ash, but I might just be biased on that. I don't know that much about Yu-Gi-Oh. Let's see. What else we got? Bowser versus Eggman. I think Bowser wins, and if I was thinking of a track, it would be called the Metal Koopas. Yeah, Bowser would probably win, but again, I can't really say for sure. There are a lot of questions to get through. We should probably speed up. I've been spending too much time on some of them. Omnidroid from The Incredibles versus Indominus Rex from Jurassic World. Well, we know that the Omnidroid could really only be punctured by itself. And Indominus Rex, again, it would have to be based on feats. You'd really have to go through, like, what has the Omnidroid done versus what has the Indominus Rex done. So this is a very hard question to answer just off the top of the head. I have a feeling, though, Incredible scaling might be more impressive, so maybe the Omnidroid. If you did punch Stan Lee, it wouldn't have any effect. That's how godly it is. I agree. Meta Knight versus Princess Luna from My Little Pony. I don't know that much about My Little Pony in terms of, without researching stuff. I know Luna's really strong, but Meta Knight is also really strong because that's what Kirby is. I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, that's very tough to answer. Again, I always just want to go with the character that I'm biased towards when I'm in the situation, but again, I don't really feel comfortable doing that all the time. I'm not sure. Do you hope Venom Let There Be Carnage will be rated R? Yes, I think that would definitely benefit from that. I hope it's good, though. Like, just, anyway. How about a Gundam Battle Royale for Death Battle? I think that would be cool. Yeah, sure, why not? I'm not too into Gundam, but I think that would still be cool. I would like to see SpongeBob in a joke fight. I think that'd be cool. Although SpongeBob, if he's going to come in Death Battle, he might fight Gumball, and I doubt that would actually be like a strict joke fight. I think it would just be a regular fight with cartoon characters. Who would win? Mr. Fantastic, Yokai, Big Hero 6? Mr. Fantastic might have better feats. The thing is, though, he relies on the Fantastic Four a lot. So, in terms of just like power output and everything, he can come up with smart ideas, but does he actually have the attack power and everything in order to be able to execute those ideas? That's the question. He has done things, though, where he has like replicated things strength before. I think he did that like once. So I don't know. We'll see about that. Like, I'm not really sure exactly. Maybe Mr. Fantastic. I think based on his longevity in the comics, he might be able to pull through. Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. Hell yeah. Thanks, Evan. Appreciate that. Ooh for us. There, I just did. That's the closest you're going to get. If Beetlejuice was to be confirmed for Death Battle, who would you guess his opponent would be? Either some sort of other wacky horror character or The Mask, because I've seen Mask versus Beetlejuice appear a lot. Who would win, Omnidroid or Doc Ock? Oh boy. Again, there's the whole thing like with Indominus Rex. It depends on, Doc Ock's own feats, like his striking feats with the arms versus what the Omnidroid has done. So that's tough. Again, it's really hard to say. Anne Takamaki from Persona 5 or Cat Noir from Miraculous. I only really know Cat Noir. If he can get a good hit in with a Cataclysm, then that's basically it. But again, I don't know that much about Takamaki, so that's tough to say. Takamaki might just be too fast or something. I don't know. Although again, Cat Noir would still be pretty fast. Which Death Battle result do you most disagree with? Rogue versus Wonder Woman, especially what we've seen Wonder Woman do now. There's no way Rogue would be able to get the opportunity realistically to absorb her powers. But that's just me. What do you think of Mega Man versus Astro Boy? If you're talking like the fight idea itself, I think it's cool. If you're talking about the Death Battle, well, I definitely think that Death Battles contradicted themselves a couple times, especially when you look at the Mega Man Battle Royale, and they talk about stuff with Mega Man. They talk about like how his power output is like, oh crap, I forget exactly where it is, but it's way higher than what they said before. I don't know if it'd be higher than Astro Boy's though. He's definitely a lot faster than what they said too, though. So I definitely think there's some things that they contradict themselves with. What would Death Battle need to do for you to not watch it anymore? I can't really think of anything they would need to do. Just get boring. Just stop trying. Stop trying with everything that they do. You know what I mean? Just like they give up. Trying to make things good. I think that would be it. How was voicing your respective characters in the Linksy series? Really cool, actually. The two main characters that I voiced, if you guys don't know, in the Linksy series were, what was it? It was Red Lightning. I'm already forgetting. Red Lightning and Richard Hazard. Red Lightning was more fun to voice personally because it's always more fun to voice a villain, in my opinion. But they were both really fun to voice. It was really cool, and it was just fun to do. Is your name Willie? No, my name is Garrett. That's my name, if you guys didn't know. How are you doing, Rappter? I am doing college work now, but wanted to watch your stream, plus congrats on the subs. Thank you so much. Yeah, and you guys definitely don't have to stay for the whole time. Like, if you have work to do, definitely go ahead and do that. But no, thank you so much for popping by. I really do appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Death Battle Season 8. Okay, just a bunch of that. Who wins, Lobo versus Deadpool? Probably Lobo, because I don't, assuming that we're using a version of Deadpool that is mortal, because there have been some weird versions, I don't see Deadpool killing Lobo. And even though it would be tough for Lobo to do, probably, I think he could probably pull it off better. Lobo is just super Deadpool, yeah. Meta Knight versus Shovel Knight. I think Meta Knight wins, and if I was thinking of a track, it would be called The Shovel of the Mask. Nice track name. Yeah, I don't know that much about Shovel Knight, but I do agree. I think Meta Knight would probably win. Who will win, Danny Phantom or Goku? I say Goku. Much more powerful and much faster. What's your opinion on Yoda versus Meta Knight? I don't want to talk about this too much because I want to save my opinions for a prediction video in case that does become the death battle. I think it'd be a cool fight, but I guess I can say it just in case it doesn't end up becoming the death battle. I do think Meta Knight would win. I think he's got more going for him, but I won't talk about why. I'll save that for later. Who will win, Volpina from Miraculous versus Tayuya from Naruto? Yeah, that again, it's tough because I'm not too familiar with Miraculous characters, so I'm not sure. How about Ash Ketchum versus Nate Adams from Yokai Watch? Didn't watch Yokai Watch at all. I know it exists, but I don't know anything about it, so I really can't say. Is your name Willie? Again, no, it's Garrett. Blue Ranger Billy versus Tenya from My Hero Academia. Who would win? Again, it depends on the feats that you could scale the Blue Ranger to, but then again, My Hero Academia characters are really strong, so I might want to say Tenya, but I can't say for sure. What's your opinion on Bill Cipher versus Discord? Would love to see that as a death battle, but I have no idea who would win. I've seen arguments made both ways, and it seems like that's a very inconclusive fight idea so far. I'm gonna get some water. I made the smart idea to get some water because last time I was just losing my voice. Water's good. Okay, what else we got? Who else could Batman be without prep time besides Captain America? I think he could. He has the potential to beat other characters like Daredevil. I think he could probably beat without prep time. I would have to think longer about that. But yeah, there definitely are characters. Knuckles versus Wario. Maybe Wario. I don't. That's a hard one to say. Do you prefer ketchup or mustard? Definitely ketchup. I'm definitely a ketchup guy. Who would win, Shadow versus Vegeta? I would say Vegeta for sure. Just more powerful. Would you want the Speed Force or the Chaos Force? Probably the Speed Force, just because I love Flash, and I think I just have a more personal connection to the Speed Force, not literally, but I mean I've known the Speed Force longer. And I think it would just be cooler to say, hey, I have the Speed Force, rather than say, hey, I have the Chaos Force, because I'm not that familiar with Archie Sonic. If Cobra Kai is in Death Battle, who would be the opponents? Well, I mean, if we're talking about a Cobra Kai character in Death Battle, I think that's most likely going to be adult Daniel LaRusso, and I could see him maybe fighting Rocky Balboa because they kind of have similar stories, and now it's a much more even fight. But I don't know. What sound better, Son of a Pirate or Insanity Man? Insanity Man doesn't sound bad. I actually like that quite a bit. How would you do a looter shooter character in a versus debate like Destiny, Borderlands? Would you allow them to have the strongest guns in the game, or just the stuff seen in the cutscenes or trailers? See, this is a hard question because it's a matter of what's misrepresentation and what's not. I think that's really up to the versus debater, and I can respect it either way they would go. I would normally just go with what is standard. Again, this is kind of a case-by-case basis, but I think that's what I would do. Can Broly fight off the DC universe? Like the whole DC universe? I don't think so. I think there's some really strong characters in the DC universe that probably that probably Broly wouldn't be able to take on. Like the godly characters. Like in the stuff like the Sandman storylines and stuff, like those characters are beyond absurd. If a Cobra Kai character was in Death Battle, who would you like to see one? Would they fight? Same thing, again, like Daniel LaRusso. Well, in terms of who I would like to see, maybe Miguel, but I don't know who he would fight. But Miguel is a really interesting character. Do you like Optimus Prime versus Gundam? I think it's a great episode. Yeah, I think it was pretty good. Didn't know that much about either character beforehand, but I thought it was a good episode. What do you think of Jenny versus Robot Boy? Think it's a good fight? No idea who would win. Venom versus Carnage was confirmed to be rated R and is having commercial in the Super Bowl. That's awesome. Can't wait for that. Bomberman versus Bakugo? Oh boy. I don't know how Bomberman scales, like, at all. Again, part of me wants to say Bakugo because I'm a little, because I'm a little biased, but again, I do not know how Bomberman scales. Have you read the Warriors book series I told you about? No, I have not. It's just a big, it just feels like a big time commitment, but I might try to check it out at some point. If anything, I'll probably just like read the wikis first and everything and then see. But yeah, not as of right now. Do you think Bowser Jr. is weak or strong? I think he's pretty strong. In comparison to like top tier Mario characters, maybe not the strongest, but I think he's still pretty strong. What is your favorite Death Battle track? What's Up Danger. Although right now I'm listening to Way Past Flash the most. And Gods of Destruction. I'm listening to all of those a lot. I want Arceus versus Omnimon. Did I pronounce that right? I think so. Sorry, to be in Death Battle episode 175. Or season finale of stuff. Okay, that's cool. Hey Raptor, what's up? Hey Maurice, how you doing? Do you think Venom vs. Krona was just Carnage vs. Lucy 2.0? The way it turned out, kinda, yeah. Don't really think it was too necessary. Again, I just don't really love the episode too much. Who would win, MCU Spider-Man versus Ruby Rose? MCU Spider-Man is friggin' broken. Like, he has so... like... The strength is ridiculous. The speed, like the agility more so, is kind of ridiculous. Not as ridiculous as like the comic version or anything like that. But I would definitely say MCU Spidey. Samurai Jack versus Raiden. Samurai Jack might have more attack power. He's definitely faster. And Raiden could run out of fuel. So Samurai Jack just needs to outlast him. So I'd probably say him. But I could definitely see Raiden winning that one too. I know Garnet is the most popular opponent, but I'm starting to like Josuke versus Miles Morales. Okay, yeah, I've heard that's thrown around a little bit before. That seems cool. What is the best movie franchise to you, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, or Harry Potter? Okay, I have a bit of a confession to make. I haven't watched all the Lord of the Rings movies. I've seen all the Hobbit movies, and I've seen the first Lord of the Rings movie, but that's actually it so far. And between Star Wars and Harry Potter, I gotta go with Star Wars. Harry Potter's amazing, but I also love Star Wars a lot. Kratos versus Wonder Woman. Oh god, Kratos is so weird to analyze now because of his new game and like the new scaling. I've heard people say Kratos, but I think before I definitely would have gone with Wonder Woman. Raiden versus Genji is better. I do like Raiden versus Genji. Classic Sonic versus classic Mega Man. I mean, again, like, it's kind of weird because Death Battle threw out some new weird scaling for both of them. Part of me wants to say Mega Man, but another part of me really wants to say Sonic. It's hard to say. Applejack versus Sandy Cheeks. Oh, that's actually a really cool fight. I don't know. Maybe Sandy, depending on the scaling, like if it's like really good cartoon scaling. But I could see the argument made for Applejack too. Magneto versus Pyrrha, definitely Magneto. Just more powerful. What is your favorite Marvel versus DC fight? I'm assuming that Death Battle is done. I like a lot of them. Miles versus Static, I thought was one of the best. If we're talking about like recent Marvel versus DC fights, I also liked a lot of others like Batman versus Spider-Man. Doctor Strange versus Doctor Fate was really good. Thanos versus Darkseid. Iron Man versus Lex Luthor. A lot of them. When did you start to watch Death Battle? It was around the time that Luigi versus Tails was coming out, which I believe is around the time I turned 13 years old. So around there. Which starter Pokemon would you choose, Squirtle, Charmander, or Bulbasaur? I've always had a soft spot for Squirtle. Even before I saw the Battle Royale between them, I've always had a soft spot for Squirtle. Although actually the way I did it, the game that I played, the first game I played was Pokemon Black, and I had to choose between Oshawott, Tepig, and was it Snivy? I ended up choosing Oshawott, so that's me there. What's the worst death battle episode ever? Oh, I don't know. Like, again, it's kind of like subjective to go with that. In my opinion, there are some things I really don't like about Starscream versus Rainbow Dash. How it feels like they took the joke fight concept and took it way out of proportion. But I don't know. Death Battle need more Digimon like a Digimon Battle Royale. I agree, Digimon should be used more. If you had to choose between being able to control Chaos or Harmony, which would you choose? Well, saying control Chaos or Harmony, I'm assuming you mean the opposites like Chaos and Order. If you control one, then you kind of control the other, right? Because they're the same thing, just on opposite sides of the spectrum. But I think in terms of what you're trying to say, I would rather control Chaos because that's more fun. Why are you gay? Who says I'm gay? Torian was confirmed to return for Season 8 animation. Yes, I did see that. That's really cool. Joker versus Joker, Persona 5 versus DC Comics. I assume the Persona 5 version has better physical feats, but I'm not sure. Cobra Kai for Death Battle. I would love that. I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen, but that would be cool. Deadpool versus Dante. I think Dante would win. I think he's got more going for him. You know, similar levels of survivability, with Deadpool maybe being a bit higher in that stat, but Dante just has better physical abilities. Who would fight Fumikaze Tokoyami? Ooh, like the Dark Shadow guy? I'm not sure. My Hero Academia can sometimes be tough to find opponents for. Do you think characters from visual novel type games like Ace Attorney or, I'm gonna butcher this, Danganronpa? Is that right? Would work in a versus setting? Visual novel type games. I think you would have to choose very similar characters. I don't think those kinds of characters would work well against characters that don't kind of fit into that realm. But I think they could work if you try hard enough. Yeah. Which would you play? Which would you play? Board game, card game, or video game? I think if you mean like how do I like those? I do play a lot of board games. In fact, I play a wider selection of board games than I do video games right now. So I do like board games a lot. And card games I used to like, not as much anymore. I think Smash Bros. Is still my favorite game in general, so I'd probably put video games at the top, but then board games and then card games. Would you make Death Battle trailers? I would make Death Battle trailers if I could learn how to do that, but I'm not that great in terms of that stuff. I've started to make thumbnails like for my Who and Why series in like Photoshop, but I'm not that great when it comes to stuff like Premiere Pro and After Effects. If I got better at that stuff, then I would definitely maybe take a stab at that. Yeah. Vilgax versus Aku. Oh geez, again, not really sure. Kind of want to say well, how, like, what kind of character is Aku supposed to be? I don't know that much about Samurai Jack. I'll say Vilgax, but I really don't know. Galactus versus Unicron. I don't know. Galactus versus Unicron makes my head hurt, but I love the fight so much. It's still my most wanted death battle. I think I'm going to save that for later when I have a better idea. When is the next time we're going to do a live stream Q&A? Actually, it's going to be for 3,000 subscribers. And I'm going to talk more about that in a video coming up in like 3 days or so, talking about that we're going to have to reschedule when we do normal Q&As and live stream Q&As. Because right now, it's like the current schedule is every 500 subscribers, but I am going to have to change that a bit for live streams, I mean. You'll see more about that later. Akame versus Ryuko is a better match. I do like that fight well enough. Who wins, Broly or Juggernaut? I don't even know if I want to touch on that, because Juggernaut really can't die to physical means. He's basically immortal, you know. So by that I kind of want to say Juggernaut, but you know, Broly is stupid strong. You know, whether or not you buy into Death Battle's scaling, Broly is still stupid strong. Leonardo versus Nightwing. I get without prep time. Well, Leonardo might have better physical feats, but like you could make the argument for scaling for Nightwing to get him up to Leonardo's level or maybe even past it. So it's tough to say. Who wins, Raiden or Genji? I say Raiden. I know a lot of people say Raiden. Bill Cipher versus Discord would be amazing to watch, but Red Runner did make some good points on him winning due to his reliable... Okay, when you say him winning, I don't know who you mean by him, but I assume I know what you're talking about. I might check out that video. Archie Sonic versus IDW Sonic versus Fleetway Sonic. I've heard a lot of people say Archie Sonic is just the most powerful, but I might not be correct on that. I don't know that much about IDW or Fleetway, so I can't say. Who do you say wins? Someone who can't be killed and regenerates, or someone who can't be harmed? If you have to pick a winner. If you mean someone who can't be killed and regenerate, so they can't die, versus someone who can't be harmed. Well, in that kind of thing, I would normally go into what else they have, like in terms of, do they have any hacks? Do they have any special things like that? But if we're talking about like more or less two normal humans that have that, then I would say, the person who can't be harmed would win, because it's easier to make an argument that the person that can't be killed because they regenerate still kind of died for a short time. It's really weird. But if I had to pick that, I would say that. Who wins, Caboose or Goku? Oh, definitely Caboose, definitely. Do you think Dragon Ball should have stopped after Z, or are you happy with Super? I think Super's fine. I don't see any reason they needed to stop with Z. Who would fight Reverse Flash? There are a lot of opponents I've seen out there. Like there's Goku Black versus Reverse Flash. That's a fight that's coming up on my channel soon, or relatively soon. But yeah, I've also heard I've heard some other characters, but I think Goku Black is the most likely. Although Goku Black does have other opponents though, other than just Reverse Flash. If RG Sonic is unbeatable, then could he beat Ultra Instinct Shaggy? RG Sonic is not unbeatable. And I think Ultra Instinct Shaggy would win. Just to say that. Freddy Krueger versus Beetlejuice. That's tough to say. Beetlejuice versus Freddy Krueger. Maybe, like, I feel like Beetlejuice could just like will his way out of the dream. If we go about it like that, I'm not sure. It kind of depends on interpretation. What do you think of the idea Usopp, One Piece versus Sokka, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and who do you think would take the W? Well, One Piece characters are really strong. I don't know that much about either of the characters, honestly. I've never watched Avatar, if I'm being perfectly honest, even though I've heard it's so good. Rayman versus Dynamite Heady? I've never heard of that character, actually. Although I know Rayman is pretty strong, so I might just go with him. What do you think of Yugi Muto versus Shobu from Duel Masters? I'm so sorry. I don't want to mispronounce names. And again, I don't know those characters that well, so I can't say. How do you feel about original versus remake character battles? Again, I think it's kind of a case-by-case basis, but I think in general, that kind of concept isn't bad by nature, but I think there are some instances where it's not really the best idea to do an original versus a remake. There might be some reasons why that just doesn't work. Deku versus Hot Rod from Transformers. Don't know who Hot Rod is. I'm not that familiar with Transformers as a whole, so I can't say for sure. Who wins? Too Many Raptors versus Vanos Gaming. I don't even know who those guys... I know who Vanos Gaming is. I don't know who Too Many Raptors is, which is actually kind of ironic, because I'm the Raptor, but I don't even know who those guys are. Or I know who Vanos Gaming is, but I don't watch him that much. I don't watch either of them. What do you think of Krona versus Lucy? Well, again, if you're going by Death Battle numbers, then Krona should win. But I don't know, if Death Battle lowballed both of them to the point where Lucy would actually win. But they gave a higher number for Krona's speed. Krona's decibel count, like the 275 decibels, would equal around 5 megatons of TNT, whereas they said only 31 kilotons for Lucy. But again, I don't know if Death Battle lowballed those numbers, so it's hard to say. And also, just Lucy has more weak points than Krona does, so there's that. Human Torch versus Cinder from Killer Instinct. I'm assuming Human Torch has better feats, just being a comic character, but I can't say for sure. What else we got? Sup, Raptor? Hey, buddy, how you doing? I think of All Might versus Captain Falcon as DB. Actually, I think that could work. Which SCP is most likely to be in a death battle first? The biggest SCP fight I've heard, like that could become a death battle, is Doomsday versus SCP-682. Is that it? So I think that might be most likely. Okay, hang on. How are we doing? So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I have to get through. Yeah, maybe you guys try to slow down a bit with asking questions, just so I can try to catch up. I may have to go through these really quickly if I fall too far behind. Yoda is a pacifist, but he has a lightsaber. Wouldn't Yoda is more tough than a pacifist? Well, if Yoda lets loose, then yeah, he's definitely like tougher than your standard pacifist. It might be tough for Death Battle to analyze that, but, I know they're going to try their best. Fun fact, did you know Shadow the Hedgehog is favorite anime is Kill la Kill? I think I actually did know that. Yes, that's pretty cool. Sandy, okay, what else we got? Would you want Booster Gold's durable force field or Cable's mind control? Cable's mind control would be more fun. I'm not really too worried about not dying in a world where I don't actually have to fight anybody, So probably Cable's mind control. Cable from Marvel versus Terminator. Well, the mental stuff probably wouldn't work too much, but like telekinesis would though, so probably Cable. Hello, Raptor. How's your day? Hey, Johnny Jokester. I'm doing fine, thank you. It's really fun talking to you guys. Actually, I'm having a lot of fun. Michiru, I don't even know who this character is, versus Beast Boy. Beast Boy is very powerful in the comics, actually. Some people don't really know how strong he is. So, you know, it's hard for me to say. I do love Beast Boy, though, so my bias is definitely there. I started out in Death Battle when I was around 13 as well. It may have been before, it was May before Season 2 started because I became a fan of the series. Also, it was Mario vs. Sonic. Really cool. That's awesome. Ledger Joker versus Phoenix Joker. Well, Phoenix Joker isn't really... They didn't really set him up to be a fighter. As much as I loved the Joker movie, they did not set him up... I did not believe that he could actually stand up to Batman in any sense. Then again, you know, Ledger Joker is more of a prep timer. So that's a bit tough to say, but because, you know, just for the fact that, you know, Ledger carries guns on him, like RPGs, I think Ledger would probably win. What type of element would you prefer? Like fire, water, thunder, ice, nature, earth, or something? Generally, fire has been my favorite element. In terms of practicality wise, I would probably either go with something like water or ice, but I think fire is my favorite. What else we got? Okay, so just listing some 1-minute melee ideas. That's cool. Charizard should also appear in DBX. I think that would be cool. Pikachu versus Agumon. Well, if we're going through all of the forms, then definitely Agumon, like all of the Digievolutions, however you pronounce that. But in terms of, in terms of just Pikachu versus just Agumon, that's tougher to say. Beyblade versus Bakugan. I liked Bakugan a lot more when I was a kid. I don't know which universe is technically stronger. Esdeath versus Cygnus, Hyoga, don't know who that is, so I can't say. Death Battle should use more monstrous characters. Most of Death Battle combatants are either humanoid robots, or dragons. What do you think? Yeah, I think they should definitely experiment with more types of characters, because what you just listed, humanoid robots, that's never gonna stop. So, they might as well try with some other stuff every once in a while. Pikachu versus Stitch. I think Pikachu is fast enough and electrically charged enough to, like, short out Stitch, but Stitch is definitely a lot stronger and probably more durable. Probably would still go with Pikachu, though, even though I love Stitch. Which Infinity Stone would you use the most? Reality Stone, because it can alter reality. It, by definition, appears to be the most powerful one. I can't think of too many things the other stones can do that the Reality Stone wouldn't also be able to do, So definitely the Reality Stone, because it's just the most multi-purpose. Do you think Jigsaw versus Junko... Oh god, all these names that I'm trying to pronounce for the first time. Do you think that would be a killer matchup? I wanted your thoughts because I thought it would be creative and the connections are better. Well, again, I don't know the character. I know Jigsaw, but I don't know the other character that well. But it sounds like a cool matchup. I think that could work. Professor Layton versus Tintin. I would say Tintin because I'm biased, but, only because I know Tintin more. I don't really know who would win. Aku versus Dormammu. I assume Dormammu, unless I'm missing something really big about Aku. Who would win? Nightcrawler versus Blake. Well, see, Nightcrawler is weird because ever since coming back from the dead, Nightcrawler cannot die from any natural means. He doesn't even have his soul in his body. Like, he had to give up his soul and, like, keep it in the afterworld or the underworld or wherever he died or whatever. I forget exactly what it is, in order to go back to the living world. So there's really no way to kill him, at least not by any natural means. So I don't see Blake killing Nightcrawler. So again, I think Nightcrawler matchups are kind of weird because I don't think they work that well. He's had this immortality for a long time. Would you ever draw an anime schoolgirl? I've never done that, and I don't really have an intention to. But yeah, which Lantern Corps would you like to be a part of? Green, red, yellow, blue, white, black, or orange? Well, white is the most powerful. But I think, white and black are the most. I actually noticed that you didn't put indigo, which is the one I would probably want to be the one. That's the one I would probably want because I think compassion is the emotion that I'm most in tune with. But I don't know. In terms of the other ones, I would probably just say white. Would you rather have the Chaos Emeralds or the Dragon Balls? Well, the Dragon Balls gets me one wish, but I would like to be Super Raptor. I think that'd be cool. Super Raptor, oh my god. But But like the Dragon Balls are definitely like more powerful in terms of what they can do. Like they can grant a wish, but then that's it. But then again, I could just use the wish to become even more powerful than the Chaos Emeralds would allow me to be. So I don't know. Maybe Dragon Balls. How'd you sort out the order of the fights of this season for who, when, and why? It's just a matter of, what fights are there, trying to spread out universes if they repeat in the season. Putting like a mid-season finale fight as something that would be cool or unique, and putting the end thing as something that would be really hype or really unique, something like that. There is a lot of planning that goes into it, but it's kind of hard to explain. Just know that, there's a lot that goes into it. Dr. Eggman versus King DDD, I would probably say DDD. Who should fight Bane? If he was to come back to Death Battle? Who should fight Bane? I don't know. Bane is a tough one to come up with opponents for. Sorry, I really want to spend more time on these questions, but I should really keep going because there are a lot of people who are asking questions. Atrocitus versus Red Hulk. Oh, sorry, I think I missed one. Invader Zim versus Marvin the Martian. Probably Marvin the Martian thanks to cartoon physics, but it's hard to say. Atrocitus versus Red Hulk. I would probably say Atrocitus. What actor do you think should play Doctor Doom in the MCU? I've heard a lot of good options for Doctor Doom. I mean, like if you wanna take Michael Fassbender from Magneto, I think he could make a good Doctor Doom. But there are a lot of good options for him. Also, I meant Discord, but my bad with the comment. We all have those moments. Okay, I see. I've heard good arguments for Discord. Who will win between Bowser Jr. versus Bandana Waddle Dee? Don't really know how those guys compare, if I'm being honest. Goku Black versus Reverse Flash would be killer to see. I agree. Again, it's coming to my channel at some point later. Not in an animation form, of course, but like as a who and a why. Can Archie Sonic beat Star Wars Legends characters? Probably. Yeah, I think he's powerful enough to do that. You have to watch Meta Runner from SMG4 to get a great show. Okay, cool. Clayface versus T-1000. Well, now we're just getting into characters that are like really hard to kill. If I'm being honest, I don't like death battles where the theme is that they're really hard to kill, because that is so hard to analyze and just so hard to figure out. I prefer the theme to be something different. But in terms of Clayface versus T-1000, they can both morph. I really can't say. There might be a feat where one technically has better regenerative ability, but even then, I'm not sure if anyone can if they could even kill the other, if they would even have the ability to do that anyway. Who wins, Sauron versus Nightmare from Soul Calibur? Again, I haven't watched, assuming this is Sauron from Lord of the Rings, I haven't watched it that much, so I can't say for sure. Doctor Doom versus Booster Gold. I want to say Doom, but even then, I'm not sure. Booster Gold is really tough. That's actually a really good fight in terms of, like, trying to figure it out, like, how close it would be and everything. Actually, before I keep going, I want to plug in my, the laptop real quick, because it's starting to run low on power. I'm going to get a drink. I have a feeling like last time I'm not going to be able to get through all the questions, so I apologize for that. In a crossover film of Marvel and DC, Thanos and Darkseid would both be the two main antagonists. Thanos side. they form into one big Thanos side. That'd be funny. Isabelle versus Retsuko. Animal Crossing versus Agretsuko. Again, I don't know those characters really at all. I like My Hero Academia. Yeah, me too. Darkseid versus Beerus. Definitely Darkseid, I would say. Crap, where do we go? Yeah, there are a lot of questions. I'm definitely not going to be able to get through all of these. I apologize. But yeah, definitely, like, if you guys maybe just lay off on asking questions a little bit if you want me to catch up, because this is just a lot of stuff. Where are we? Would you prefer burgers, pizza, or tacos? Pizza is my number one, and then burgers would be second. Although tacos are fine too. Cinder versus Cinder. I don't know that much about Killer Instinct, but the Killer Instinct scaling might be higher than Ruby scaling. That's tough to say. In terms of characters themselves, are there any protagonists that you think would work better as secondary characters or vice versa? Like in terms of just like fictional worlds? I don't know. That's a question I would like to answer in like a Q&A type video, like as opposed to a live Q&A, because again, that takes a lot of time to think about. I don't really have like a pre-prepared thing like, oh, I would definitely love to see this character be the main character or anything. there are definitely a lot of universes where there are some characters that are more fun to watch. So there's definitely that. Blake versus Nightcrawler, again, I already answered that. Nightcrawler is like immortal in the comics right now, so I don't think Nightcrawler fights work, even though I think he's like my favorite Marvel character. What else we got? Original Jason versus remake Jason. So the original Jason is strong enough to crush a skull effortlessly. Remake Jason is faster and more aggressive, but not as strong or durable. Well, again, like I feel like I would need more information. You know, I would need to be able to figure out how strong remake Jason is if he could actually, you know, overtake the original Jason's durability. If he couldn't, then original Jason would win. But if he could, then I think the speed gives it to the remake Jason. Who would face Patrick? Maybe Goofy from Disney, but I'm not sure. I think Patrick is kind of flexible. You could do a lot of things with that. Batman Beyond versus Miles Morales. Oh boy. Maybe Miles, but that's hard to say. Naruto versus Luffy. I kind of want to say Naruto, but I don't know. I think Luffy does have some of his own advantages, though. I don't think it's a stomp or anything. Not trying to be rude, but you didn't see my idea for Kirby versus Pac-Man. Oh, sorry. If I do miss something like that, I apologize. But yeah, Kirby versus Pac-Man, that sounds okay. Cthulhu versus One Above All. I don't know that much about Cthulhu, so I'm tempted to just go with One Above All, but I don't know. Scrooge McDuck versus Mr. Krabs. I don't know how Mr. Krabs scales to SpongeBob in terms of, you know, crazy cartoon physics. And even then, Scrooge McDuck is probably more impressive than what Death Battle made him out to be in Scrooge versus Shovel Knight. So that's tough. I think that'd be a really cool fight, though. Who would Riddler fight? Who would Riddler fight? I don't know. It would have to be like some sort of mastermind villain who's also just a normal person. But a lot of those come from DC, though, you know? So that's tough. What's the most ridiculous highballed or lowballed scaling for a character you've seen for a character? I think Wonder Woman's durability has been laughably lowballed in both Thor versus Wonder Woman and She-Ra versus Wonder Woman. So that's what I would say for at least more recently, the ridiculous lowball. In terms of highball, I'm not sure. I can't think of too many things where I'm upset with Death Battle because they highballed something. Aku versus Salem. I don't really know. I don't really know who Salem is. Squidward versus Waluigi. Probably Squidward, but I don't know. What's your most requested Pokemon Death Battle? I don't really have one. It would have been something with Mewtwo before, but Mewtwo came to Death Battle, so there isn't a Pokemon that I'm really excited to see in Death Battle. Maybe Lickitung. I don't know. What else we got? Iceman versus Killer Frost. I've done this on my own show before, and I think Iceman would win because Killer Frost actually does worse, like, in cold environments. Her powers actually work by absorbing heat, which she then, like, manifests into cold abilities. So actually pitting her against other cold characters is kind of working at her disadvantage, you know? And plus, Iceman just has way higher levels of survivability. Hi, Raptor. Congratulations on 2K. Thank you so much, Matthew. I appreciate that. Zero versus Vision is apparently Vision's most requested fight now. Who wins? I feel like you could make a good argument for Vision winning because, like, you there's a lot of higher end scaling you could attribute to him. Plus, I think he has more reliable Haxie abilities, but I could see Zero winning that one too. Mandalorian versus Goblin Slayer. Probably Mandalorian, but I don't know that much about Goblin Slayer. What do you think about Shodan System Shock versus XANA? Is it Xana? Is that how you pronounce that? Again, I don't really know those things at all, so I can't say. Have you ever tried Mexican Coke? No, I haven't. You mean like Coca-Cola, or do you mean like cocaine? Either way, I haven't tried it. No. What's your most ideal matchup that you want to see in Death Battle? Why? Right now, it's Vision versus Red Tornado, other than Galactus versus Unicron, because that's always been my number one. But I really want to see Vision versus Red Tornado. I think it's a great fight. But I'm not sure if they would actually do it. In order to commemorate WandaVision, they're probably going to do Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna. So if I do get Vision versus Red Tornado at some point, it would have to be like probably later down the line. I think Adam Driver, who played Kylo Ren as Doctor Doom, okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm definitely really far behind then if we're talking about, you know, Doctor Doom casting right now, if we're replying to it right now. So sorry, guys. I know I'm really behind, but with all these questions and trying to go through them one by one, it's tough. I think I'm just going to have to speed through them. Inkling versus Springman. maybe Inkling, but I don't know that much about ARMS. Who do you think would win, Nightwing or Daredevil? I think Death Battle got it right. But I do agree that, you know, if Nightwing had everything he needed, like if he didn't have a way to find out what Daredevil was all about, and if he didn't have a way to exploit it, then I don't think he could have won that fight. But I think because he had both of those things, it's fair to say he would win. Lord Palpatine versus Shigaraki. Am I pronouncing that right? Yeah, from My Hero Academia. Probably Palpatine, because Star Wars scaling is crazy. Hey Raptor, once again, may not be able to see or hear you, but your videos are awesome. Can you guys not see me? Okay, hang on. Let me go down to the bottom of the chat to make sure nothing has Okay, we've actually reached. No, we have not reached the bottom. I just went down to the bottom. Okay. I think everything is fine. Let me know if something is wrong. Hang on, give me a sec. Something is now. Yeah, make sure you, like, if you guys can see me and everything, please let me know. How'd you feel interested in seeing a movie called Duty Revenge starring Michael B. Jordan? Okay, sounds interesting enough. Rouge the Bat versus Sly Cooper. I've considered this for who, when, and why before, so I don't want to talk too much about it. I've heard good arguments made for both, because it seems like they both have major advantages in different ways. My very first thought is, I just went back and forth like 3 different times, even just trying to answer that question. Maybe Sly, but I don't know. Who wins? Mandalorian, like Din Djarin versus Predator. I mean, that, what's it called? That Beskar armor is going to be tough for anyone to get through, so maybe Mandalorian. Mugman versus Caboose. Always Caboose. Caboose always wins. Who'd win? Rambo versus Predator. Maybe Predator? I don't know. Timmy Turner versus... Okay, I keep getting this warning thing on my connection. If you guys can see me, please. Okay, so you guys can see some lag. Okay. I'm seeing that now a lot. Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can fix that. If I go to settings, output. So yeah, it's recommending that I lower my bit rate to a certain number, but that number that they're asking me to lower it to, I'm already there. I wonder if maybe I should lower it a bit more. Okay. We're gonna try this. Let me know if something really big changes. Timmy Turner versus Maxwell from Scribblenauts. That's actually really interesting. That's a really innovative idea. Timmy Turner versus Maxwell from Scribblenauts. I mean, Maxwell, is this supposed to be instantaneous? I don't think Maxwell's drawings are supposed to be instantaneous. Although then again, Maxwell doesn't really have as many rules as Timmy Turner does with the fairies. So I don't know. Maybe Maxwell, but I'm not sure. Who'd win? Light Yagami versus Lelouch v. Britannia. Death Note versus Code Geass. I don't know that. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I don't know that much about it. Maybe Light. I don't know. I'm kind of biased. Would you like a Lobo movie? Yes, absolutely. I think that'd be cool. What could you go for right now? McDonald's or Burger King? Definitely McDonald's. I don't like Burger King that much. Any creepypasta matchup ideas? Not really. Maybe like Freddy Krueger versus Pennywise. Oh, well, those aren't really creepypastas. Like Slenderman's a creepypasta. Slenderman versus Jeff the Killer. That's the first one I can come up with. Chris Redfield versus Punisher. Punisher might have better scaling, but I'm not that familiar with Resident Evil. Katara versus Juvia. Not sure. Maybe Katara, but I really can't say. Riddler versus Jigsaw. Okay, that might be a good opponent for Riddler. And in terms of who would win, I don't know. Maybe Riddler. The Mask versus Freakazoid. I did this as a who, when, and why, and I said the Mask would win, but that's just my opinion. What do you think of Charizard versus Spyro? I think it would be cool because both characters have chances to win. Because Spyro could be Charizard, but Charizard could become Mega Charizard X. Yep, that's fair. Although Spyro could also become the Dark Spyro form. I personally think Spyro would win, but that's just my opinion. Cuphead versus Pac-Man. Maybe Pac-Man. Depends. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Cuphead's abilities, really. I do think Cuphead would be bendy if he can get past the regenerative stuff, because I've heard that a lot before, but I'm not sure about this fight. What do you think is the least effective Batman villain? Maybe Professor Pig? No, I don't. I think Professor Pig is actually pretty effective. Least effective. A lot of them are really effective. They have to be, you know? Other than like the joke fight, like the jokey Batman villains. Maybe Two-Face, because only half the time will he do the bad thing because of the coin flip. Congratulations on 2K. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Would you give me a shout out? I'll give you a shout out right now here. So subscribe to Son of a Pirate. I don't do individual videos with shout outs anymore, unfortunately. If you could, would you add animations to Who and Why? Yes, I absolutely would if I knew how to do that, or if I could, you know, hire an animator for not that much money, you know, because I barely make any money off of YouTube. So I would definitely do that if I could, but I don't really see that being that much of a possibility right now. Mandy from Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy versus Gaz from Invader Zim. I don't know that much about those characters, unfortunately. Ed, and Eddie versus Animaniacs. I really want to go with Animaniacs because I'm biased, but I don't know. I don't know that much about Ed, and Eddie. May have to do more research on that. And yeah, I see, so like a lot of people were saying I was lagging a bit. I see that now. Where are we? Sorry, 1 second. If you're a Power Ranger, what color suit would you wear and what superpower would you have? I like to be green. Green's my favorite color. And for superpower, maybe like energy projection and absorption, something like that. Doraemon versus Hello Kitty. I'll just say Hello Kitty. Why not? Which fan base do you think is the most toxic? The Marvel fans or Ben 10 fans or Sonic fans or anime fans? Maybe Sonic fans, even though I think they can all be toxic. Yeah, my internet's not the best, honestly. It did get better though, like from previously. Banjo-Kazooie versus Rocky and Bullwinkle, or Banjo-Kazooie versus Rocky and Bullwinkle. I'm more familiar with Banjo-Kazooie because of Smash, but I know my parents like Rocky and Bullwinkle though. I don't know who would win that one. What fast food restaurant do you think makes the best French fries? I personally love Checkers. What fast food makes the best French fries? I actually don't order French fries that much anymore. I usually get something else. I try to switch away from French fries every once in a while. I don't know. I think McDonald's fries are fine. I go to McDonald's a lot. Or not a lot. Actually, not that much anymore because of COVID. But yeah. Who would win, Elsa versus Jack Frost? I feel like Elsa just has a bigger power spread. But I could be wrong with that. Uncle Buck versus Arnold Schwarzenegger. Never go against Arnold. Actually, I don't know who would win. But I'll say Arnold because I'm biased. Do you think Archie Ultrasonic can beat Alien X? Archie Ultrasonic. Like the ultrasonic version of Archie Sonic. Can he beat Alien X? Maybe. I think speed would definitely be on his side. If he could wish him away, then yeah, I think he could do it. But I think there are instances where they could both win. So the answer, do you think he can beat Alien X? Yes, I think he can. Who wins, Wolverine versus Black Panther? I mean, the anti-metal with Black Panther's claws, he would have to dig really deep to get through, like, you know, his neck and everything, whereas Wolverine, his claws could definitely get through the vibranium because adamantium beats vibranium generally. So I think it's just easier for Wolverine to win that. SCP versus Doomsday, who do you think would win? This one. Yeah, does SCP-682 has like an outer versal form, right? Right? Something like that? I guess it depends on if that's included. Otherwise, I would probably say Doomsday. Michael B. Jordan is going to be Static Shock. As an older Static Shock, I think that would work pretty cool. Yeah. Had you watched Scott Pilgrim yet? If so, who's your favorite? Evil X. I have not watched Scott Pilgrim, but I really want to. I actually really, really want to watch that. Jury versus Melina, Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. We need more of these sometime in the future. I think that'd be a cool fight, yeah. Pac-Man versus Mr. Game & Watch. Probably Pac-Man, but I'm not too sure. Mewtwo versus Tatsumaki. I think oh shoot, hang on. I lost the chat for a bit. Mewtwo versus Tatsumaki. I think Tatsumaki might have more power on her side, but Mewtwo's just like mind controlling stuff could do some damage, but I feel like Tatsumaki could control Mewtwo's chi just as quickly. So I think the safer answer is to go with Tatsumaki. Who would win, Fiesta from Skylanders or Desperata from Miraculous? Fiesta is actually one of my brother's characters that he collects from Skylanders, so I don't know that much about his powers. And Desperata from Miraculous, maybe Desperata, it depends on the scaling. Nova, Sam, so the second Nova versus Deku. I'm personally much more familiar with Richard Rider Nova, if I'm being honest. Sorry, my legs are cramping so much right now. I'm just moving around a bit. But I don't know. Nova, I feel like, though, could probably still do some damage to Deku. I feel like Deku could eventually surpass Nova if he gets strong enough, but I think Nova would probably win for right now. What if Miles Morales had the All for One? That would be amazing. That's all I can say. Mario and Sonic versus Crash and Spyro. Probably Mario and Sonic, but I'm not sure. Salem is from Ruby. Oh, okay. Either I forgot about that character, maybe I didn't get to that part in the show yet. What is your favorite death in Death Battle? Oh, I like the one where Thor threw Raiden into the sun. I thought that was fun. But there were a lot of good deaths in Death Battle. I could probably list a ton. I like when Doctor Strange died in Dr. Fate's head, but I know there are better ones than that. I would have to think about that for a little bit longer. Who would win, Professor Pig from DC or Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Maybe Leatherface, but I'm not that familiar with Professor Pig. I just know that he's a Batman villain and he's a pig. Do you think Kratos could be a DLC character in Smash Ultimate? I think he could. I don't know if he will be, though. I think that'd be pretty cool. I would love to animate for you, but I want to improve my animation skills first before I do. Also depends on the type of animation you want, from hand-drawn and motion graphics. Okay, yeah, no, we can definitely keep in touch with that. Again, though, I'm not like really trying to like make the jump to animation, or it's not something that like I'm super, desperate for, I guess I should say. No, but we can definitely keep in touch on that. That'd actually be cool to talk about. Who will win? Cat Blanc from Miraculous versus Champa from Dragon Ball. Probably Champa, but I'm not sure. Maybe Cat Blanc is more powerful than I think he is. If you could be any movie and video game villain, who would you be and why? Movie? Just movie or video game villain? Maybe? Is that what you're asking? I don't know. Movie or video game villain. I think it'd be fun to be Chaos from Skylanders. But then again, I'm not really sure if that's something I should be aspiring to be. Movie villain might be easier to do. I don't know. Maybe Darth Plagueis the Wise. I don't know. Again, that's something I would want to like think about more before I answer that. Astro Boy versus Metal Sonic. I mean, Metal Sonic, depending on the scaling, you could probably get Metal Sonic to be faster. In terms of power output with the super forms, I don't know if he could surpass Astro Boy, though. I think Metal Sonic might be able to do it. If you could do animation for who and why, which animation style would you prefer? Honestly, any animation would be awesome. But like spray animations, I think like they're simple, but they're also fun to look at. You know what I mean? But yeah, motion graphics is cool. And like, hand-drawn stuff, all of that stuff is really cool. Is Naruto planet level? I think he might be now. But I can't say for sure. I think there's a good chance he is, though. Arby's makes some killer fries at rallies. Okay, awesome. Thank you for letting me know. I live in Canada, by the way, so I'm not. I've heard of Arby's. I haven't heard of rallies, though. I don't know if that's just an American thing or if I just haven't heard of it. But I do live in Canada, in case you guys didn't know. Sephiroth versus Shredder. Probably Sephiroth. That'd be my guess. Where are we? Where did we go? Okay, I'm kind of catching up. Do you think Cool Spot versus Pepsi Man is a good matchup? I think that'd be cool. Yeah, Cool Spot versus Pepsi Man. Sure, why not? What do you think of Smokey versus McGruff? I think it's a boring episode in your opinion. I think it's fine. I think it like the good thing is that, I think it's cool that they try new things, because even if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it again. But if you do like it, then you can go back and watch it. So I'm actually pretty grateful that it exists, and I thought it was actually pretty cool. Deathstroke versus Captain America. So I've gone back and forth on this one a lot. I've heard, the higher end feats of Cap, is just better than Deathstroke's, which I do agree with, like in terms of, strength and speed. I think Deathstroke has a lot going for him too. I think it's a pretty close fight. Spinal versus Cervantes. I'm assuming Cervantes from Soul Calibur, and Spinal, I'm not sure who that is. So maybe Cervantes, because I'm biased. I'll always just say that if I only know one character. I try not to be biased when I do serious analyses. Who would win? Timebreaker from Miraculous versus Kamen Rider Kabuto. Don't really know who Kamen Rider Kabuto is. And Timebreaker, I don't know too far I only really know by name. Have you watched The Big Bang Theory and How I Met Your Mother? If so, who would win, Sheldon or Barney? I've watched Big Bang Theory. I've only watched like a couple episodes of How I Met Your Mother. So I would root for Sheldon, but maybe it's actually obvious Barney would win. Gex the Gecko versus Bubsy the Bobcat. I want to say Gex, but maybe Bubsy. I don't know. Raven versus Cinder. DC versus Spyro or Skylanders. Who would win? I feel like the higher end of Raven's feats are probably better, but I could be getting that wrong. I'm not too familiar with, like, all of the Spyro games. And Skylanders, you know, the scaling is so weird in that, so I'm not sure. Nero versus Hellboy. Devil May Cry versus Dark Horse. I've heard Nero for the win most often, and I could see why. I actually really like Dante and Hellboy. I like Hellboy more than Nero, though. Deathstroke versus Spider-Man. Definitely would say Spider-Man. Stewie versus Rick. Family Guy versus Rick and Morty. I'll say Stewie, because I think that's funny. What are your biggest fears? Stuff like, you know, loneliness, failure, stuff like that. I also really don't like bats or spiders. Like, if we're talking like physical fears, those are probably might be my biggest physical fears. But in terms of just like fears in general, then yeah, just like disappointing people, you know, failure, loneliness, all that stuff. Because I don't want to live my life like that, you know what I mean? I need some water. How are we doing for time? It's 4:10, so we got 50 minutes left to go before I have to stop. Maybe I'll go on a little longer if, like, I feel like I can catch up to the questions, but maybe not. Can Mario beat Naruto? Well, I mean, like, Mario's got some weird scaling. Like, if we're looking at, like, you know, black hole stuff. What Naruto, I do believe, is planet level. And I believe Naruto is faster. Again, it's the kind of thing like, can Naruto beat Mario? Or, sorry, can Mario beat Naruto? I think he can, but I don't know if he would more times than not. It's that kind of thing. Have you blown up Mars yet? No, working on it. Since Bleach is coming back, do you think Death Battle will do Naruto versus Ichigo 2? And who do you think would win this time? I don't think they really have a reason to do Naruto versus Ichigo 2. I don't really suspect they're going to do 2 rematches in one season. Because I think Link versus Cloud 2 is happening. And I agree with Naruto versus Ichigo personally. That might just me being biased and not knowing that much about Ichigo, because I do like Naruto. But I agree well enough with Naruto versus Ichigo. Sailor Venus versus Andromeda Shun. Sailor Moon versus Saint Seiya. I don't know. Both of those universes are broken as hell. Maybe Sailor Venus, but I could also see Andromeda Shun winning. That's hard to say. Would you want to see a huge group death battle, like a Nicktoons versus Cartoon Network death battle? Yeah, if they could pull that off and pull it off well, like put the right amount of time into it, absolutely I would love to see that. I would just be a little worried that they would rush through it and it wouldn't turn out that well. My favorite death, hands down, has to be Hulk from Doomsday Beatdown. That was a good one, even though it was heartbreaking to see Hulk die. My biggest fears are real life death, germs, and snakes. Fair enough. I can definitely understand that. Favorite Skylander you like to use and your brother's favorite? I'm not sure who my brother's favorite would be. If we're talking like first gen Skylanders, like first game, I like to use Camo a lot. I thought he was fun. I thought Camo was fun to use. But there were a lot that I really like to use. Drobot was fun. If we're looking like a more recent game, Kingpin is fun to use from Skylanders Imaginators. I like to use a lot. A matchup you're surprised didn't happen yet in Death Battle. Alex Mercer versus Cole McGrath and Galactus versus Unicron. I think we deserve those ones by now. I'm surprised they haven't happened yet. Thanks for the idea, and I do hope we get to work in the future. Would love to help you out anyway. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate that. Would you rather have a persona or a stand? Great question. I think I would rather have a persona, because then I could show people. Because then they'd be visible to people who don't have stands. I think that'd be cool. Unless, like, I was really, like, set on keeping it a secret, then I think I would rather have a stand. In terms of power, I don't really care, like, if one's more powerful than the other. I just think having either of them would be awesome. What death battle fight that has happened were you most surprised by? Like, the idea or the outcome? Because if you're talking the idea, you bet I was surprised when I saw Venom versus Krona, but not in a good way. If you're talking about the outcome, then it would have been Hulk versus Broly, because I thought Hulk was going to win, but, you know. Chiro versus Spike, Super Robot Monkey Team. I don't know those characters at all. Sorry. Yeah, I can't really say too much on that. I feel bad because I don't know that much about characters. Like, a ton of characters. Okay, we gotta keep going. Now I'm starting to fall behind more. I wanted Mayday and Zook from No Straight Roads and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as DLC. There are a lot of characters we all want as DLC. I personally want to see Dante, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen now because they already revealed Sephiroth, and I'm not sure if they want to have too many characters of like of a similar vein. So we'll see about that. Who wins Anakin Full Potential versus? Sorry, I'm just going to adjust my. Oh, I moved my laptop. Anakin Full Potential versus Dark Side Yoda. I don't know that much about Dark Side Yoda. So I don't know. Maybe Anakin, because he's, like, really powerful. But, I'm not too familiar with Star Wars Legends. Kite Man is probably the most pointless Batman villain. Fair enough. I didn't even think about him. But, yeah, that might be it. Uncle Ben versus Aunt May. Holy crap. You want to do them like that? I'll say Aunt May. Because she's awesome. Canada! Yay! Wolverine versus Virgil. I feel like Virgil's stats are better, maybe, unless you want to attribute some really high-end scaling to Wolverine, which I personally don't know if I would agree with. But if we're talking, like, just that, then they said, like, you know, Virgil's sword can cut through anything, but we know that's not actually true. I'm not sure if it'd be able to cut through adamantium. In terms of survival abilities, I might want to say, like, Wolverine would just be able to outlast Virgil, but then again, Virgil's healing is ridiculous, too. If Virgil has a way to cut through or to kill Wolverine, I think Virgil would win. Barnyard Show was funny. Hi Raptor, one of the most wanted death battles is Homer Simpson versus Peter Griffin. Do you like that idea? Yes, I actually think Death Battle will do that at some point. I'd be really surprised if they didn't get to it at some point. Who will win, Jinbei from One Piece and Kisame, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, from Naruto? I'm not sure. Again, Naruto and One Piece characters are really hard to compare to each other because it's not like one universe is definitively better than the other. Although I think One Piece might edge out Naruto more times than not. But I don't know. Pepsi Man versus the Coca-Cola Polar Bear. Pepsi Man's actually got some really strong abilities. Whereas Coca-Cola Bear, I don't really see him being that much different from a regular polar bear. I think Pepsi Man would probably win. Ninjago versus Chima Lego rap battle. Lego Battle Royale. I'm not sure. I'm not that familiar with Lego characters. Is video game Sonic at universe level? I personally don't think he is. I know some people are going to disagree with me on that, but I don't think video game Sonic is at that level. If I'm being honest, I don't think he's anywhere close to that level, but that's just me. Little Mac versus Makunushi Ippo. I know that fight. But I don't know that much about the second character. I've seen that fight thrown around. I didn't recognize it at first. I know Little Mac, but again, only from Smash Bros, so that's hard to say. Spinal from Killer Instinct. Oh, okay. So yeah, thanks for clearing that up. So in Death Battle Season 8, which new series you're hyped for the most? Attack on Titan, Steven Universe, and Kill la Kill. And which one you're hype most, even though you haven't watched any of the series? So yeah, I guess for me personally it would be Attack on Titan. I know a bit about Attack on Titan. Not that much about Steven Universe or Kill la Kill though. In terms of the one that I'm most excited to see get introduced, I guess those are the only ones we know for sure. Although if Dio versus Alucard happens, which I'm pretty sure it will, then getting introduced to Hellsing would be pretty cool too. But I think Attack on Titan's probably still my favorite, or the one I'm looking forward to the most. What Death Battle ideas you think will never happen on Death Battle? Didn't they say they wouldn't do Mickey Mouse versus Bugs Bunny? I don't remember. They've joked a lot about that stuff before, so I wouldn't I wouldn't count any of that like as fact. I think anything is possible. But in terms of what do I think will never happen, I mean, the fact that we might be getting Yoda versus Meta Knight and we've got Metal Sonic versus Zero, I'm not sure if something like Meta Knight versus Zero is going to happen now. It could, at least, but I don't think it will happen for a while. So I'm not sure. Yensid versus Dumbledore. I don't know if there's like a ton of extra content for Dumbledore that puts him at such a high level. I might want to say Yensid, but I don't know. Who would better next become Spider? Hang on. Miles Morales versus MCU Spider-Man. Like, who would be the better, like, next Spider-Man? Sorry, it's a little hard to understand what you're saying. If you're talking about, like, introducing Miles into the MCU, I think they definitely should do that at some point. But if you're talking, like, who would win a fight, Miles Morales versus MCU Spider-Man, like Miles Morales from the comics, I feel like it's just a lot faster, but, you know. That's all I can say about that. Who will win? Reno Rouge from Miraculous versus Emerald from Ruby. Maybe Emerald, but that's hard to say. Control of electricity or stretchy limbs? Probably electricity control, I would say. Pikachu versus Static Shock. I feel like Static has better feats, unless I'm missing something huge for Pikachu. But I kind of want to say Static. This year, I make a death battle script, and what do you think of the episode I'm going to make? Jason versus Michael episode 1, Homelander versus Brightburn episode 2, Izuku versus Spider-Man episode 3. Yeah, those all sound like good fights. Definitely. I'd say go ahead. I approve for sure. You don't need my approval though, but I'm giving it to you anyway. Spellbinder from DC versus Mysterio Marvel. I probably would say Spellbinder, but I'm not sure for sure. Madara versus Aizen is most likely probably. Yeah, I think that could definitely happen too. Madara versus Aizen for sure. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Again, I don't know that much about Bleach. How many Static Shocks does it take to take down Thor? A lot. I would say a lot. I like maybe in the millions, like, or if not even higher than that. Thor is broken in the comics. Like, the higher ends of his feats are well beyond anything Static can do. Who would win between Izuku Midoriya versus Ms. Marvel? Probably Izuku. I'd probably say him because I think he's just got better feats. Who would win? Ebon from DC or Static Shock? Oh, this is from the show, which I did watch before, but a very long time ago. Versus Kurogiri from My Hero Academia. Maybe Kurogiri, but I'm not sure. Who would win? Wolverine versus Zoro? Again, I think stat-wise, I think Zoro has more going for him. It's a matter if he could kill Wolverine, though. Thor versus Vegeta. I personally think Thor should win, but I could see Death Battle giving it to Vegeta with the new Dragon Ball scaling. What else we got? Eraserhead for My Hero Academia versus Batman. Not that familiar with Eraserhead, honestly. If you give Batman prep time, I definitely think he would win. But if not, maybe Eraserhead, but I could see Batman pulling that off too. If SpongeBob were to appear in Death Battle, who do you think he should fight? Probably Gumball. I think that's the most likely opponent for SpongeBob. Is there a matchup you felt is really cursed, but you really want to see it become a death battle? A matchup that I think is cursed, but I really want to see become a death battle. Not really, if I'm being honest. All of the matchups that I can think of that I would want to see, I think are fine fights, and I could definitely see Death Battle doing them. I don't really have anything that I think like, oh my god, that's such a weird matchup or anything that I still want to see. I don't really think I have anything like that, if I'm being perfectly honest. What else we got? Mao Mao versus Puss in Boots. I really only know Puss in Boots, and I love Shrek. So maybe him. Again, I apologize that I just don't know a lot of characters. I just don't want to give like any sort of, false information, about anything. Who will win? Crusher from Skylanders versus Stoneheart from Miraculous? Yeah, the giant stone golem. Maybe... Stoneheart has some good feats, like not a ton of feats, but the feats that he does have are not bad. Again, Skylander scaling is so weird because, like, where do you even start, with, like, Spyro? If you scale him to, like, being a lot stronger than Spyro, then, yeah, maybe Crusher. But it depends on how you scale them. Homelander versus Brightburn, probably Homelander. I think he's more reliable to win that. Among Us versus Fall Guys. I've only played Among Us, and I've only played it a couple times, actually. In terms of who would win, yeah, maybe Among Us. It's hard to say. Who'd win a battle royale between the 7 Koopas? I'm not sure. I really could not say. I don't know how they really differentiate between stuff. I cannot blame you for not knowing characters as everyone knows all series, or as not everyone knows all series. Still fun to learn new things from characters. Absolutely. I actually really like when Death Battle brings in characters that I don't know that much, because then I get to learn more about them. Like, I wouldn't be nearly into stuff like, Metal Gear and Devil May Cry and Ruby if it wasn't for Death Battle, So, for sure. Kamek Koopa versus Rita Repulsa. Maybe Repulsa, but I don't know. Martha Wayne versus Thomas Wayne. Again, putting these couples together. Martha Wayne versus Thomas Wayne. Well, we know Thomas Wayne has what it takes to become Batman. So maybe him, but Martha, I'm sure, is a bad bitch, too. What is your favorite anime show? Mine was Black Clover. I gotta go with, like, Naruto, man. Like, I know Naruto has its issues. I know it does. But I think Naruto is fine. Like, I like watching it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Zerg versus Lord Zed. Probably Lord Zed, but I can't say for sure. What series do you think needs to come back to Death Battle, like BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, Ninja Gaiden, or Street Fighter, for example? And what new series do you really want to see? Well, a new series I really want to see come to Death Battle is Umbrella Academy, even though I don't really think it's going to happen. In terms of what series do I want to see come back to Death Battle that's on a bit of a hiatus, I think BlazBlue would be fine to come back, for sure. And yeah, all the other ones you listed, like Guilty Gear, Ninja Gaiden, or Street Fighter, I think those are fine too. I think probably BlazBlue, or maybe another Devil May Cry character. That might be cool, actually. And you know, of course, it'd be cool to see Cloud come back for Final Fantasy. Who will win, Hawkmoth versus Lord Zed? I don't know how powerful Hawkmoth has gotten. I'm not caught up with Miraculous. So I want to say Lord Zed, but I could be getting that completely wrong. McDonald's versus Burger King. Sorry, Raptor, but I'm going for the big BK on this one. That's perfectly fine, except we can't be friends. No, I'm joking. No. No, I just personally prefer McDonald's. It's actually kind of become a meme in the family because my dad really likes Burger King, but we never go there because, you know, no one else likes Burger King, including my brother and my mom. So it's actually just kind of become a meme. So it's kind of my duty to hate on Burger King, but I don't really hold anything against it. Who'd win, the Spy versus the Imposter from Team Fortress 2 versus Among Us? I'll go with the Imposter because why not? Who would win, Android 18 versus Metal Sonic, Dragon Ball versus Sonic? I want to say Android 18, but I'm not sure. Favorite joke fight that I made? The biggest joke fight that I made was Olimar versus Ant-Man, so I guess I would say that. Bruce Wayne versus T'Challa. T'Challa. Okay, I see. No suits. I mean, T'Challa's probably studied some martial arts that Bruce Wayne doesn't know, but I think Bruce Wayne's probably studied more martial arts. So that's interesting. I think in terms of, if we're talking with the heart-shaped herb though, then Black Panther, like T'Challa, would still be stronger. So I guess stronger and faster. So I guess I would say him. If you're talking without all of that stuff, like without the suit, without the heart-shaped herb, without all of that, then maybe I would go with Bruce Wayne. But again, you really have to take away everything T'Challa has. Garfield versus Eek the Cat. I'm not sure. Maybe Garfield, because he's Garfield. Who would win, true chosen one in your eyes, Luke or Anakin? If we're talking at the peak of their power, then I think, has Luke surpassed Anakin in the Legends canon? I think he might have. So maybe Luke. War Machine versus Cyborg. I think War Machine has more destructive potential. I could be wrong about that, but I think he does. But if Cyborg can hack War Machine's tech, then I don't really see much that War Machine can do. So that's interesting. Okay, how far? Okay, we got to keep going. Kim Possible versus Sam Simpson from Totally Spies. These are actually two characters I know. I kind of want to say Kim Possible, but that might be wrong. Has your again, like I said, with all of these, versus debate fights, even if I do, know both of the characters, I could still be getting stuff wrong because I don't have the time to research it during a live thing like this. Has your favorite or worst death battle changed since the addition of newer death battles? Probably not. I think some of the listings might have changed. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Kakashi is probably almost my favorite death battle. But in terms of my all-time favorite, that probably has not changed. Movie Sonic versus Detective Pikachu. I haven't seen Detective Pikachu. I've only seen the Sonic movie. So I don't know. Maybe Sonic, but I don't know how powerful Detective Pikachu is. If you were in Bird Box, would you blind yourself? Permanently? Maybe I would have to in order to survive. But in terms of if I had a way to just cover my eyes, I know that'd still be running a huge risk, but I would want to prepare myself for the best if I could survive, get through this whole thing, the Bird Box story. Spider-Man Noir versus Spider-Man 2099. I would want to say 2099, but I don't know that much about Noir. Although actually, if Noir is the Spider Sense, that might be bad for 2099. That's tough to say. Who wins, Clone Troopers versus Xenomorphs? Well, if the Clone Troopers can't even hit the Xenomorphs, then the Xenomorphs might win. I might say that. Bye, happy birthday to me. Happy birthday. Nice that it's your birthday. I am curious, which series do you think has the most complex history that would be a pain to research? Mine would have to be the Doctor from Doctor Who, but the Doctor versus Rick would be awesome to do. Actually, I think I can agree with you on that. I think Doctor Who is a pain. It really would be. Although Final Fantasy would also be really complicated. Sorry, not Final Fantasy. I mean, Legend of Zelda would be really complicated. I think that would be really complicated.
Who would fight Boba Fett if he were to return to Death Battle? Maybe Predator. I've heard Boba Fett versus Predator a lot. I could see that happening. Would you rather be Hokage, #1 hero, or king of the pirates? Well, of course, I think it would be cool for me to just say, hey, I'm Hokage, because I'm familiar with Naruto. #1 hero would be cool, though. I don't think I'd want to be king of the pirates. No offense, Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates. It would either be Hokage or #1 hero. I'm not sure. I think I would go with either one. Popeye versus Saitama. Probably Popeye, I think. Again, Saitama and Popeye are really hard ones to analyze because their whole point is that they don't lose, you know? So there's that. This is talking about like a score thing. Ben T, he has Master Scores Music. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Chuck E. Cheese versus Mickey Mouse. Probably Mickey. That'd be my guess. Well, we gotta bounce later, guys. And once again, congratulations, Raptor. Thank you so much, Matthew. I know you're probably gone by now, but thank you so much. Who will win? The Pharaoh from Miraculous versus the Living Mummy from Marvel. The Pharaoh from Miraculous versus the Living Mummy from Marvel. Maybe the Living Mummy, but I'm not sure. Okay, if you think that Video Game Sonic is not universal level, then what do you think Video Game Sonic is? Well, I do think he's probably higher than what Death Battle put him at, because they put him at like 100 kilotons. I think you could probably make an argument for him being stronger than that. But like, you know, I feel like you need like his super forms to get to any sort of cosmic level of power. Like, I don't know. I don't want to put a limit like flat out because I feel like, you know, people would get upset. And I might just be missing something huge. But I feel like, you know, super, like you could get up to really high levels of power with like Super Sonic. But Base Sonic I don't really think is really that strong comparatively. Do you think Batman vs. Spider-Man 2 can happen? I think it can, but I personally wouldn't really want to see it. The only reason why I would want to see it is just have two awesome characters in an updated Death Battle-like fight. You know what I mean? So I don't really think it's too necessary. I heard some raspiness in my throat, so I'm going to get some more water. I am so happy I brought the water this time. I don't know if my voice would have survived the whole way through without it. KO versus Izuku Midoriya. Ooh. I don't know that much about OK KO. Let's be heroes. Part of me wants to say Izuku Midoriya because I like My Hero Academia a lot, but you know. Would you ever think about doing Among Us with your subscribers? If I could figure out how to do that, then yeah, I think that'd be really fun, but it would need some time. I would need some time to do it. To figure everything out. Who do you think would win, Lloyd Ninjago versus Aang Avatar? So this is the Lloyd from the Lego Ninjago movie, right? Which is actually the only Lego movie I have not seen, like of the big motion pictures. There's like 4 of them now, right? Like the 2 main ones, the Batman one and the Ninjago one. Ninjago one's the only one I haven't seen. He might scale to something huge. Although Avatar State is like in the hundreds of kilotons of TNT at least. So I think Aang has a good shot of winning that. Would you want Wally West's ability to break fate or Archie Sonic's ability to bend fate? Well, Wally West, like he does sometimes break fate. He can break the rules of reality. I feel like I'd probably want that because that's more inherent than like something that you would have to like cast, like use physical chaos energy to use. So I'd probably say Wally West's abilities. Spider-Man versus Darth Maul. If we're talking about legends, then I definitely say Darth Maul. Because he's just too strong. Like, you know, with telekinetic abilities and everything. Who would win, Darkblade from Miraculous versus Black Knight from Marvel? Probably Black Knight. I think his scaling's probably better. Electro versus Black Lightning. Black Lightning being a hero almost kind of like implies he might have some better feats. Like Electro's best feat, according to Death Battle, was blowing up the Prison Rift, which was 160 tons of TNT. He has done damage to Spider-Man, though, which does imply that he could get up to like multi-kiloton levels of power. But Black Lightning, I have a feeling, probably has something where like he stopped something impressive or like he did something impressive. So I have a feeling Black Lightning is probably more powerful. I can't confirm that though. And Electro's just an idiot, so there's that too. Sailor Moon versus Goku. I mean, according to what Death Battle said, most likely Goku. But again, I'm not really sure how much I want to take that as fact. Sonic versus Ouija versus Ugandan Knuckles versus Seven, Granddad versus Crash Woe versus Big Chungus. I'm going to say Big Chungus because why not? I worked for McDonald's during my 4 years of high school. It was a blast. I've actually heard not so bad reviews from people who have worked at McDonald's. I've personally never worked at McDonald's before. But that's awesome that you had a good time there. Really, really good. Raymond versus Luffy. Maybe Raymond? I don't know. That's a bit tough. Okay, where are we now? Okay, we're still making our way through. Um, so who will win? Weather Wizard DC versus Stormy Weather from Miraculous. Again, when you're looking at stuff like DC versus Miraculous, I have a feeling just DC edges out more, you know, because they have better feats that you can scale them to and everything like that. And plus, Weather Wizard being a Flash villain is already pretty OP in and of itself. So I would probably say Weather Wizard. Klonoa versus Ristar. Don't know who either of those characters are, unfortunately. What if the Rappter has one for all? Wasn't there a similar question to this before? That would be awesome. I would love to have that quirk. I would destroy everything. No, I wouldn't. Spider-Man and Miles Morales versus All Might and Deku. Personally, I think the Spider-Man would win with their spider senses and speed. That would definitely like be in their favor. Although All Might, like his strongest stuff is really high. Like higher than I personally would pin Spider-Man at. So I don't know. I think it depends on which one is more reliable in a fight. Technically, generally I find that that speed is more important in a fight, because if you can't hit your opponent, then it really doesn't matter. But you know, All might be able to do it. It's hard to say. I'll give you a second. Just gonna adjust myself again. If you were in Naruto world, okay, I think this is back to the one for all question. If I had one for all in Naruto, I still wouldn't want to piss off anybody in Naruto, and I'm not sure how much damage I'd be able to do to him anyway. Who would win? Lie Ren from Ruby versus Cameron the Green Samurai Ranger from Power Rangers Ninja Storm. I don't know. I don't know that much about those characters. Again, the Ruby character I always kind of want to go with because it's Ruby, but you know. Pies cost $3 in Jamaica and $2 in the Bahamas right now. So those are the pirates of the Caribbean. Jeez, I had no idea where you were going with that, but that's awesome. The pirates of the Caribbean. Carmen Sandiego versus Kim Possible. I've heard this one thrown around a bit before. I've heard some people say Carmen Sandiego, but I've also heard some people say Kim Possible. I think I've heard more people say Carmen, but I don't know. I'd have to do more research on that. What character could break Wonder Woman's bracelets? If we're talking about like pre-52 universe, basically no one. The bracelets have not broken by anybody. Realistically, I don't think She-Ra should have been able to do that in the animation of the Death Battle. I know they wanted to give an excuse for Wonder Woman to get into her most powerful form and everything like that, but even like the entire force of the Greek pantheon, of DC, by the way, this is not even just normal Greek stuff, this is DC Greek stuff. And also like attacks from, again, godly characters like the Spectre and stuff like that. They have not been able to break Wonder Woman's bracelet, so I don't really think anybody could, unless they're like literally omnipotent. Then maybe they could do it. Danny versus Randy. I think this is Danny Phantom versus Randy Cunningham. Maybe Danny Phantom. I don't know. Another stupid but cool matchup idea, Kirito from Sword Art Online versus Neo Anderson from The Matrix. Two hackers who basically become digital gods. Thoughts? The connections are definitely there. I'm not sure how close of a fight this is. I'm getting another, sorry, give me a sec. I'm getting another thing that says, oh, you only have good connection. You don't have excellent connection. I might be lagging a bit again. I might see if I can fix that later. Let me know how I'm doing. But yeah, in terms of that, I can definitely see the connections between the characters. But I'm not sure how close of a fight that would be. I'm more familiar with Neo. Chris McLean from Total Drama Island versus Monokuma from, again, that thing that I'm having trouble pronouncing. I'll go with Chris, because why not? Number 1 versus Agent P. I have a soft spot for Agent P, but I also like Number 1. I remember watching when I was really young. I don't know. Maybe Number 1, but I could see Agent P doing that too. Pulling it off. Okay, yeah, we got to keep going. What else we got? John Wick versus Agent 47. Ooh. Maybe John Wick? I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm a little distracted right now. I keep seeing some stream things, like some like the connection thing keeps going in and out. Hopefully everything's still fine. John Wick versus Agent 47. Maybe John Wick, but I could see it going to Agent 47 too. What would make you more upset? No Unicron versus Galactus Season 8, or having Vision versus Martian Manhunter in Season 8? I could... See, the thing is, not having Galactus versus Unicron, like, I could still wait for it to come later, you know? When they do Vision versus Martian Manhunter, there's no going back from that. But at the same time, I think I would rather, like, I would have Vision versus Martian Manhunter in order to get Galactus versus Unicron. That's how desperate I am. So I'd probably be more upset if there was no Galactus versus Unicron. Amy Rose versus Nora, probably Amy, but I'm not sure. Who wins, Flash versus Ghost Rider? Flash, I don't think, has a way to really kill Ghost Rider unless he has a way to, like, erase him from existence, if he can even do that. But I think he could probably, like, run fast enough to, like, find a holy weapon or something if you... Ghost Rider really can't hit Flash, from my knowledge. Rabbids versus Minions. Raymond versus Despicable Me. Maybe the Rabbids, but I don't know. Joke fight, Perry the Platypus versus Howard the Duck. That sounds like an awesome fight. I would like to see that, actually. Who do you think will win? Bender versus Roger versus Brian versus BoJack Horseman. Futurama versus American Dad versus Family Guy versus BoJack Horseman. So these are like aliens or something? No, these aren't. Oh, sorry, I was just thinking of Roger because I'm most familiar with American Dad. I don't think they're all aliens. No, or maybe they are. No, they're not. Anyway, I'm most familiar with Family Guy, so part of me wants to say that, but I don't know. I could see a few characters winning that, actually. If Kyle Rayner ever gets to Death Battle, who would he have the White Lantern and anti-life equation? Is the anti-life equation standard for Kyle Rayner? I didn't think it was. If it is, then I think you should have it. Whatever is standard for him. White Lantern, I could see being making a bigger case for it. Are there any Death Battle results you disagree with? Again, like Wonder Woman versus Rogue, I definitely disagree with that. And if we're looking at it in a literal sense, then I really don't think Rainbow Dash should have been able to kill Starscream. Again, that's my example of a joke fight that's gone too far, where they actually go against, you know, their mission statement or going against what they say they try to do in order to make a fight funny. So those are the big ones. Umbrella Academy versus Doom Patrol. See, if we're looking at the TV shows, then I'm not sure. If we're looking at the comics, like the Umbrella Academy comics and the Doom Patrol comics, the Doom Patrol has done some crazy things, and they had like a big revolving door. The Umbrella Academy, though, has some really strong characters. There's this character in the show, she's known as Allison, or number 3, but in the book, she's known as the Rumor. Her abilities are that whatever she says happens. It's even like number 5 even number 5 said that this borders on omnipotence, so she can literally just say something and it will happen. So there's definitely that to take into account. I'm not sure though that would be enough to save the whole fight, but you know, we'll see. Or not necessarily we'll see, but it's a debate. Zombies from Minecraft versus zombies from Left 4 Dead versus zombies from Dead Rising. Zombies from Minecraft, absolutely. I'm actually not sure, but Finn and Jake versus Mordecai and Rigby. I've heard a lot of people say Finn and Jake wouldn't win that Mordecai and Rigby would probably win, but I'm not really sure because I have not watched the shows that much. Can Batman work without Mark Hamill and Joker and Kevin Conroy as Bats? If you're talking about an animation, then yeah, they've done that many times before. I think it's best when Mark Hamill is Joker and Kevin Conroy is Batman, but I can work without it for sure. Favorite updated thumbnail for who, when, and why? I don't know if I have a favorite. Maybe Batman versus Moon Knight. I think that one turned out pretty good. I think Bullseye versus Deadshot also turned out well. If you guys didn't know, I updated all my who, when, and why thumbnails because we have a new template. Greninja versus Asui. I hope I'm pronouncing this correct. I don't know those characters. I know Greninja, but I don't know the second character, so I can't say. Betty Boop versus Minnie Mouse versus Olive Oil. I want to say Minnie Mouse because I'm a little biased, and plus Minnie Mouse could scale to Mickey in some way, maybe? I'm not sure. Predaking versus Wild Force Megazord Transformers. Oh, I might have pronounced that wrong. Transformers versus... Sorry, I'm gonna get some water. Transformers versus Power Rangers. Maybe the Transformers guy. I don't really know the characters that well, though. Ramen or Rayman? Ramen, for sure. Who will win? Uraraka from My Hero Academia versus Chi-Chi from Dragon Ball. Oh, boy. Maybe... My Hero Academia bias is wanting me to go for My Hero Academia for Uraraka, but I'm not sure. I can't say that for certain, honestly. Asta versus Meliodas. Black Clover versus Seven Deadly Sins. I've heard of both of those shows. I have not watched either of them, so unfortunately I can't say. Have you ever thought about your who would win and why to have next time trailers? Again, kind of like with Death Battle trailers, I would totally do something like that if I got better at it. So again, yeah, who knows? Maybe sometime it could happen. Or again, like maybe I could actually get somebody to make one for me. But who knows? What if your own matchup ideas in Death Battle? Like if I could make up my own matchup ideas in Death Battle, well, I would definitely put in Galactus versus Unicron and Vision versus Red Tornado. There's some other joke fights I'd like to see, like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh versus Hobbs from Calvin and Hobbes. I think would be really funny. Inigo Montoya versus Puss in Boots, like Inigo from Princess Bride, Puss in Boots from Shrek, would also be very funny. I'm listing things that I don't think Death Battle will ever do, and if I had the option to do it, then I would put it in there because I don't think they would do it on their own. Junior versus Jeffy versus Cody versus Joseph, SML Battle Royale. I don't know that much about SML, so sorry. Can't really say there. Who wins Doctor Strange versus Doctor Doom versus Doctor Fate? Well, I think Doctor Fate does beat Doctor Strange. I definitely agree with that. And in terms of Doctor Fate versus Doctor Doom, again, if we're looking at like true form Fate, I think probably that's enough to beat Doctor Doom, but I could be wrong. John Wick is also one of those matchup suggestions where it's very hard to choose, but I think John Wick versus Revy from Black Lagoon or Black Lagoon is most fair and amazing fight I want to see. Okay, that's cool. That's something I didn't really consider before. Professor versus Nathaniel Bandy. I don't know who those YouTubers are. I'm sorry. Who will win, Kraven the Hunter from Marvel versus Chantal Dubois from Madagascar? Probably Kraven. Keeping up with Spider-Man is really good for Spider-Man villains. What two dragons should fight in Death Battle? Maybe Fin Fang Foom and King Ghidorah, if you consider that a dragon. I think that'd be cool. Heinz Doofenshmirtz versus Finbar Calamitous. I know a lot more about Heinz Doofenshmirtz, so I'd definitely be rooting for him. Then again, he's not very competent, to say the least. Depends on what you decide to give him, honestly, and probably for Finbar as well. Pinkie Pie versus Roger. Maybe Pinkie Pie, but I don't know the Toon Force limitations for Roger. I just know Pinkie Pie is really out of this world. Well, I'm out. Bye. And keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Maggie, again, like all these people who said bye, they said bye a long time ago. So so they probably aren't hearing this anyway. Maggie versus Tari versus Psycho versus Belle versus Maloney. I don't know that much about SMG4 waifu battle. Yeah, again, I can't really say that much about that stuff. Where are we? Every once in a while, it will kind of take me to the bottom of the list, so I have to readjust. Where are we at? Rainbow Dash versus Sonic. I think Sonic has the potential to win. I think in general, he's just more powerful and probably faster. The super form would definitely be a good thing for him to use. Pac-Man versus Luigi. I've heard some arguments made for Pac-Man, actually, but I don't know how well, some people have said he's ridiculously powerful, which I can't really agree or disagree with because I haven't looked up the scaling and everything. So maybe Pac-Man, but I could see the argument being made for Luigi too, depending on what scaling you attribute to the characters. Who wins, Anakin Skywalker versus Sasuke? Well, again, the whole new Naruto power levels are a bit weird. And to be frank, I don't know the most about Anakin Skywalker's power level in Legends. I've seen some people say Sasuke, and I could definitely see the argument made for that, but I don't think it's too much of a landslide. I think it's actually that's a pretty good fight, honestly. Speedy Gonzalez from Looney Tunes versus Jerry from Tom and Jerry. Probably Jerry, because I think Jerry has some really impressive feats of strength and durability. But then again, Speedy might too. I just know more about Jerry's feats, so that's not actually fair to say. I would say Jerry for right now, but I can't say for sure. Yusuke versus Ichigo. I would personally say Yusuke, but that's just me. I'm not too familiar with either of them, so but that's just what I would say for right now. Hey Samantha Blake, how you doing? Danger Dolan versus SMG4. So again, I don't know that much about Super Mario Glitchy 4, and Planet Dolan I don't know that much about either. But I do appreciate you guys asking these questions regardless, even if I can't say that much about them. Joke fight, Majora's Mask Moon versus Soul Eater Moon. Yes, I would love to see that. If Connor Kenway goes on Death Battle, who do you think he'll fight? I think it would have to be because Connor Kenway, was he a later assassin on Assassin's Creed? Because if so, then I think you should do like, again, like a later generation kind of character, like another really good fighter. But I don't really know who that would be. I would have to think about that for a little longer. Kim Possible versus Perry the Platypus. Again, it would depend on the Toon Force scaling. I think Perry has the potential to win that. But you know, he would need to have the ability to actually like overpower Kim, which might be a bit tough. Jake Long versus Zuko. I've talked about this one before on the last live stream, actually, if I recall correctly. And yeah, that's a bit interesting because Jake Long versus Zuko, they have like distinctive advantages over the other. Like, I think Jake Long might be, he's definitely faster in terms of reactions. And he might be more powerful too. But Zuko, I think, would be the better fighter, and Jake Long has more weak points, if I recall correctly. My gut would be Jake, but I could see it going either way for sure. Ultraman versus Jet Jaguar. Maybe Ultraman, but I'm not too familiar with kaiju type characters, if I'm being honest. Have you watched Carmen Sandiego on Netflix? No, but I might consider it. Thank you for the recommendation. Dio versus Krona from Soul Eater. I kind of want to wait until Death Battle analyzes Dio because I've heard a lot of conflicting information about Dio. Maybe Krona, but then again, with Dio's stand, it might be tough. Tough for Krona to work around that. Kim Possible versus Casey Cooper. I want to say Kim, unless I'm missing something really big for Casey. Benson versus Bakugo. I don't know who Benson is, so apologies. Again, I kind of want to go for Bakugo because of the bias. Joke fight, Tony the Tiger versus Chester Cheetah. I would love to see that. That'd be awesome. Mario versus Sonic versus Mega Man versus Pac-Man. Again, I think there's a case to be made for Pac-Man, but again, I don't know how reliable that higher end level Pac-Man gets attributed to. I don't know how reliable that actually is. But yeah, so maybe Pac-Man. If not him, then maybe Mario. Okay, where are we? I really got to go through these fast. Magic versus Urza, probably Magic. I just think she's more powerful. If you were ever asked to be a part of the Death Battle research team, would you accept? 100% yes. That would be amazing. I would absolutely love to do that. Probably mean I would have to devote more time to that than to the YouTube channel, but hell yeah, that would be incredible. Like, I could not turn that down. Would you count Perry the Platypus being technically around 10 feet tall, since the universe, Phineas and Ferb grew in size, as a factor in a fight? I remember that episode, and that's something I didn't really consider before. Yeah, I guess I don't really have a way to debunk that. I don't have a way to, like, think, like, why that wouldn't work. So maybe. That's something I didn't think about before, but that's a really interesting point. Carmen Cortez from Spy Kids versus Alex from Totally Spies, who would win? I don't know that much about Carmen. I don't know that much about Spy Kids. I know more about Alex. Definitely be rooting for Alex. Harley Quinn versus Casey Jones. You can make a good case for Harley Quinn depending on the scaling, like with DC. DC probably has something weird. What are your thoughts on the G1 prediction blogs, and would you like to be in one in the future if you wanted to? Would you want to do one later? I don't look at them that often. Generally, I like to do research on my own, and I don't like to rely on other people, although sometimes I check them out if I'm really into a debate and I want to see what other people are saying. And in general, I just prefer to stick on YouTube, with prediction videos rather than blogs, because then I devote a lot of time to, writing stuff about Death Battle and talking about Death Battle, and unfortunately, I also have a life. I know it sucks, right? It would be awesome to just do YouTube for my whole life, but it doesn't, or like just Death Battle versus debate stuff for my whole life, but unfortunately that's not how it works. Trevor versus Hoxton, I don't know those characters that much, I'm sorry. Wildfire from Skylanders versus Sogaleo from Pokemon. I might be mispronouncing that, but I feel like Pokemon scaling might be better. Again, with Skylanders are so hard to look at because you never know how powerful they're supposed to be. Flynn Rider from Disney Tangled versus Aladdin from Disney's Aladdin. I almost did this as a Who, When, and Why episode. I'm not going to lie. I almost did this as a Who, When, and Why. And I decided not to do it because it was too difficult. I tried looking and there was so much weird information. With the durability especially, there's some like conflicting feats there, like contradictory feats. If we're looking at it without the genie, then Flynn Rider obviously has a much higher chance, and I wouldn't include the genie in that fight because that's just not fair. And plus, the genie left Aladdin by the end of the first movie anyway. It's not even really standard, if you ask me. I think Aladdin is faster, but Flynn might be more durable. It depends. Jump Force versus Smash Brothers. Gotta go with Smash Brothers, bro. Love Smash Brothers. Joke Fight, Patrick Star versus Ed. That'd be funny. Yusuke versus Naruto or Yusuke versus Inuyasha. In terms of which I think is a better fight, I think the second one. I would probably say that. Shantae versus Philia. Way Forward versus Skullgirls. I don't know that much about Skullgirls or Shantae, if I'm being honest. Maybe Shantae, but I can't say for sure. Who will win Flashbang from Skylanders versus Diancie from Pokemon? Again, I think Pokemon, it's safer to go with Pokemon. Who wins Rune King Thor versus Super Broly? Kind of want to say Rune King Thor. Because, like, that's, like, Odin level, and that's really strong. But I'm not sure. I am surprised we have not gotten a Nick versus Cartoon Network death battle. I would like to see Dexter versus Jimmy Neutron. Yes, that's actually another fight that's going to be happening on my channel later this year. Later down the line in the list. And I'm really excited to tackle that one. And I would love to see Death Battle do it too. Where are we going? Sorry, I have to find my place again where I was. Phineas and Ferb versus Dexter versus Div versus Jimmy Neutron. Or you could do something like that too, yeah, for sure. Disney Princess Battle Royale, who would win? I mean, Mulan might be the best fighter. Merida is also very capable. If we're looking at like Toon Force stuff, I don't know who technically has the best durability feat or anything like that. If you count Elsa as a Disney princess, then the other ones might be in trouble. Which Link do you think they will use for the rematch with Cloud? I could see maybe being Breath of the Wild, but they could like try to combine everything. I don't know. I could see them doing that, honestly. Link versus Finn the Human. I think that's a really good idea, but I do not know who would win, unfortunately. I get like I've seen a lot of arguments both ways. Alucard versus Deadpool. I want to say Alucard. I don't think Deadpool has a good way to kill Alucard. Dang, you're still streaming? Yeah, I am. Actually, we're gonna have to stop soon. Like in like 5 minutes or so. I might keep going for a little bit longer, but not for too long. Jotaro Kujo or Krona and Maka. So like as a fight, like Jojo versus Krona and Maka together. A 2 against 1 is always really tough for the one person to do. Like no matter what kind of fight it is, unless they're like really, really much more powerful. So maybe Krona and Maka, but Jojo might be able to pull it off. I don't know. Benson is from Regular Show. Okay, thank you for clearing that up. The Rappter versus Death Battle. Death Battle would win. I'm telling you right now, Death Battle would win. Or if you're talking about the characters that are being used on Death Battle versus the characters that are being used on Who and Why, some of that crosses over a lot. Although I'm assuming Death Battle has probably used stronger characters. They have Archie Sonic on their side. Then again, I also have Wally West Flash on my side because I used him in a battle too, so I don't know. How thick is Thicksilver? I see you're a Gubs fan. So am I. Sad that he left YouTube. How thick is he? Only Gubs can answer that. Felix the Cat versus Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Kind of want to say Oswald, but I don't know. If you were given an opportunity to join Death Battle Cast, but it means ending your YouTube channel, would you? If I had to like flat out end the YouTube channel, then I might not want to do that. But I don't know. I think I would need the opportunity to be given to me because I don't think it's ever going to happen. So it's really fun to think about hypothetical stuff, but I don't really know. Han Solo versus Star-Lord. I say Star-Lord would win. Rey versus Gamora. I mean, if you scale Rey to like Legends characters, then I think Rey would win. If not, maybe Gamora. Who wins Flash versus Silver Surfer? I flip-flopped this on a lot before. I think I want... Typically, I want to say Silver Surfer is more powerful, but I think Flash can get to the point where he is more powerful over the course of the fight. And I just don't see Silver Surfer hitting him. So I might want to go with Flash. And that's Wally West specifically, though. I think Silver Surfer would beat Barry Allen. I am a part of the G1 team since Ganon vs. Dracula, but I do wish I could do some debuts on my own sometime. But I hate my voice when I record, and I would want a microphone in the future. I also hate my voice, but that hasn't stopped me. No, but obviously I can definitely understand that. And yes, I'm actually using a microphone right now, and it has helped with a lot of my recording. So yeah, for sure, I can definitely understand that. Where else are we? Where are we? Sorry, again, I had to find myself again. Jafar versus Eraser from Sonic. I don't know. It depends on which version of Jafar you're using. Standard Jafar, maybe he would lose. But if we're talking like Genie Jafar, he might win. Speedrunner Mario versus Archie Sonic. I don't really know that much about Speedrunner Mario, so I'll just say Archie Sonic. I could be wrong. Ness versus Frisk. I know more about Ness. Don't know that much about Frisk. I've heard arguments both ways. Maybe Frisk, maybe Ness. This is always so tough when I'm trying to do this on the spot, you know? The Rappter for Smash. Hell yeah, buddy, put me in Smash. No. I guess I do have my own Mii fighter, so I am in Smash for me. Yeah. That's really all I can say about that. They do video game characters, though, and as far as I can tell, I'm not a video game character. What do you think about the Warner Bros. Versus Ed, Edd and Eddy? Or whatever their name is, like the Animaniacs. That's like the Warner Bros. And the Warner sister versus Ed and Eddy. I think that's a pretty cool fight, yeah. Yusuke versus Yu Yu Hakusho versus Kitaro from an anime that I've never heard of. I can't really say, so maybe Yusuke. How far are we doing? How well are we doing? Okay, I'm going to try to go on lightning mode, okay? Trying to go through all the questions as fast as I can. Necron from DC versus that character from Pokemon. Maybe Necron, but I don't know. Who's your favorite Mandalorian? My favorite's Boba Fett, but I also like Mando. Even though Skylanders appears to be over, do you still go back to those games every now and then and collect them? Well, there's only one Skylander I don't have, which is the Chompy Mage. And yeah, I do sometimes go back and play them. Gon versus Deku. I think right now Gon would probably win, but maybe Deku would win later. Who will win Percy Jackson versus Aqualad from DC? I've heard arguments made for Percy Jackson. Apparently he's like really strong in the books. Yes, I would love to see a prediction for Dexter versus Jimmy. I cannot wait until then. Again, like it's a who and a why video, but it will be coming out later, of course. What if Darth Vader had the Fear Lantern ring? I think it'd be stupid powerful. Johnny Bravo versus Quagmire from Family Guy. Who is the number one perv? I'm going to say Johnny Bravo because he's Johnny Bravo. Zeus versus Hades versus Poseidon. I'll say Zeus, but I think it would just, everyone else would lose. Well, it's been an honor spending time with you on this stream. You did another great stream. Thank you so much. Carnage versus Alex Mercer. I've heard arguments both ways. Alex Mercer might be able to like eat Carnage or something, but I don't know. Do you think the Joker could overpower the mask with his own sanity once he puts it on? Possibly, but I think, I would want more I would want more proof of something like that before I come to that kind of conclusion. Wiz versus Boomstick from Death Battle, actual fight, no rapping. I think Wiz might be more prepared for a fight like that, but I think Boomstick has better like physical feats. So I don't know. I want to wait for that Death Battle to happen. SpongeBob versus Jimmy Neutron versus Danny Phantom versus Timmy Turner. Maybe SpongeBob or maybe Timmy. I think those two have the best chance. Randy versus Ladybug. I want to say Ladybug, but I'm not sure. Maybe Randy, actually. That's tough. What's your favorite Marvel versus DC fight that Death Battle is done? Again, I answered this kind of before. Maybe, what is it? Could be Miles versus Static. Could be Batman versus Spider-Man. Could be Doctor Strange versus Doctor Fate. Thanos versus Darkseid. Lex versus Iron Man. I like a lot of them. Who wins, Anti-Venom or Toxin? I kind of want to say Toxin, because like the offspring of a symbiote is supposed to be more powerful than the original. Although I think Anti-Venom might be more powerful than I think he is. Great stream. Can't wait till you get 3K, which you will. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Bowser Jr. versus Metal Sonic. I don't know. Maybe Bowser Jr. I can't really say for sure, though. Mr. Miyagi versus Mr. Han. Always Mr. Miyagi. Always, always, always. Do you think your channel is underrated? No, not really. Like, I don't know. It'd be weird for me to say my channel is underrated. I think my channel's fine. Chowder from Chowder versus Gumball versus The Amazing World of Gumball. Both are cats and have Toon Force. Maybe Gumball, but I'm not sure. Sonic Boom versus Sonic Movie. I like the Sonic Movie more. Who will win from those characters? I don't know. I'm gonna have to like just speed through the rest of these because I need to end this soon. Pac-Man versus Yusuke. Again, you could put Pac-Man at a ridiculously high level, but I don't know if you should. Maybe I'll just say Pac-Man. Do you think Null the God, the Symbiotes, and Medusa from Soul Eaters need to like each other? Or do you think, like, who do you think would win a fight? I don't know that much about Medusa from Soul Eater. But Null is pretty cool. Hat Kid versus Kirby. I don't know. I don't know who Hat Kid is. Who wins Superman Prime 1 Million versus Worthy Silver Surfer? Probably Superman Prime 1 Million, but I'm not sure. Woody from Toy Story versus Bob the Builder. Is that a weird choice? I haven't heard that fight before, but I think that's interesting. I don't know who would win that. What if Ghost Rider had a Red Lantern ring? Then he would be even more stupid powerful, which is exactly what we need. Bakugo My Hero Academia versus Shocker from Marvel. Maybe Bakugo. But like again, if you really want to scale Shocker to Spider-Man, you could probably get him up there. Who would win Ichigo versus Luffy? I want to say Luffy, but I'm not sure. Alistair versus Alucard. Is that Alistair from like Has Been Hotel? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know who would win that fight. Who will win Rainbow Mika from Street Fighter versus JC from Tekken? I'm not sure. I had a blast being here with you. Truly hope to see more live streams in the future for sure. Mr. Cheese versus Caboose, always Caboose. Okay, I think I'm going to have to officially call it there because I do have to stop. If any more questions do get asked after this, I apologize. But I do really have to stop the stream right now. I have some other stuff to do today. And it was only supposed to go for 2 hours. It's been a little over 2 hours. But thank you all so much for watching this live stream. I really do appreciate it. 2,000 subscribers has been absolutely awesome, and I almost made it to exactly the bottom of the chat. And I know some people are still asking some questions, but again, I really do have to call it. Otherwise, I will never stop. But I did almost make it to the bottom of the chat, which is awesome. I wasn't able to do that last time. Again, apologies if I wasn't able to answer your last minute questions, but last time it was a lot worse. But yes, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Again, I really do appreciate it. If you haven't liked this video already, please like the video. I always appreciate the likes. It means so much to me. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet for some reason, you can subscribe to the channel now. I would really appreciate that. Comment your comments down below, everything like that. This will be up on YouTube at some point. So, just be on the lookout for that. Let's see what we got. Thanks for being awesome. Oh, thank you so much, man. Have a good day. Bye. It's been a pleasure being with you. Have a nice day. Bye, Rappter. I enjoy being in this live stream. Bye. Everyone's just saying bye. So thank you all so much for everything. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.